What do we comment? Good observer?
Welcome back indeed. It is time for game number 2 between OG, different letters. OG and
EG.
Ooh, maybe
soon,
too
Cheater.
soon. Sorry, guys. But yeah, we're here, Epicenter Major 2019, and we've just had a fantastic game 1. It was super fun to watch, the way I like to see it. And I can't wait for game number 2. I am curious, though, what changes need to be made, because that is a reason, obviously, why Team Secret is on top of the DPC, or at least one of the best teams, if not the best team in the world, according to many. They know how to adapt, how to change, how to adjust and move forward better. Vogt.
Yep. I think step 1, put mid 1 on a mid 1 hero. Step 2, probably just look at the traditional picks that they've been doing, right? Like they opened up with Shadow Demon. They haven't done that.
If
you can still see it maybe later on, but
Yeah.
like opening with it is strange. So we'll probably see some adjustments.
If it was any other team and any other drafter, I'd say like ban Slark.
Yeah.
But knowing Puppy, that's not going to happen.
No.
Ban Invoker, that's also not going to happen 100%. Most likely what is going to happen is they're going to let both of those heroes through and then try to deal with them.
He's
If
gotten
OG even
better
picks-
about that, though. He definitely has gotten better about it.
He did.
Sure.
He did
But
get better.
Invoker
I
is
agree.
still not a hero you'd ban, though.
Nah, I don't think you ban Invoker or Slark.
No.
You can still deal with Slark. Perhaps a Disruptor, Lashrak, something like that. Those heroes work pretty well. You have those AoE damage abilities. Disruptor Static Storm, also one of those position 5 heroes that are really good versus the Slark. So.
Should be exciting. Let's not forget, by the way, that this game, for both of these teams, the series rather, it's an elimination game. However, Secret, of course, already qualified to TI, but as of this morning, OG also guaranteed ticket to TI9 because Forward lost. It's just that simple. They have no pressure anymore to do well. Of course, coming into the tournament, that was the major story for them. Like, can they make it on a direct invite to TI? And they can. They didn't.
They did it.
They did it.
Yeah, they
With two
didn't need to work
coaches.
hard for that. Well, they did actually, because I did think yesterday's win helped with that as well.
Oh, yeah.
But they're on the right track. We can go into the draft of game number 2 of the series to find out what is going to
This
change
man,
in
this-
game number 2.
Yeah.
Cook turned coach. Overall, you know what? I feel really good for him because sometimes coaches can feel like you don't necessarily always feel like you're the most important part and that you deserve an invite to a tournament. But this guy, 100% now. OG is there on the TI partly because of him, 100%.
Yeah.
Not taking goals.
See, Puppy's gotten better at it. I told you.
Hey.
He
There you go.
banned out both of them. He's like,
that's
these were
good.
the problem. We could have dealt with the other ones.
I mean, Baraturm definitely.
Yeah.
Spirit Breaker, if you aren't going to pick him, ban him.
Yeah.
He's banned every single game almost,
But
right
they
now.
like to play it as well, though.
Yeah,
They do.
could have
That's
picked it.
true.
Is he gonna pick Shadow Demon though? Maybe he changed when it comes to the bans, but when it comes to the picks, nah.
I think we'll likely see like the Warlock or maybe like a CM or something more. I mean, it's not like it's not a traditional Puppy hero. It's
Grimstroke
just,
banned
it's,
out,
yeah, it was just the way it was picked into what they saw because they only saw the SB Darkseer, so he must have had some idea.
I'm actually happy we won't see Grimstroke on Team Secret because when they pick it, usually they put it on Yapzor, and I hate seeing Yapzor on Grimstroke and Winter Wyvern and heroes that can farm on position 5 and just do as much, aren't flashy. Just give this guy these Baraturms.
How did you like him on the Lina?
Well, it was a really difficult game for him.
I mean, apart from the fact that they lost,
Yeah.
like, do you feel like that's his type of hero?
It
or?
is.
Yeah?
He's really good with Lina. He won multiple games with it,
Yeah.
performed really well. But in this game, it was a little bit too difficult. Perhaps if they had a good start with that Lina and he gets, like, let's say, Yules or something, so that Baraturm isn't so big of a problem. But in this game, he gets charged and he dies. In the last game, that is. So.
Yeah, he gets charged, dies, or he gets wrapped around from some super speedy Slark or some Surge.
Exactly.
Just too many things to get on top of him in that game. It's very hard to be successful as Alina. They're taking a lot of time here for this ban.
Which hero do they not want to give away? Previous game, they banned out the Morphling at this stage.
Yeah.
And they
Shadow
will
Demon.
ban out Shadow Demon.
Yeah, that's interesting. What do you think about the Shadow Demon, Vogt? I don't feel that there must be a reason why they are prioritizing him so highly. I never felt, I mean, in the last couple of days, I didn't feel like the Shadow Demon is a really strong of a hero.
That is
The
very-
break that you talked about definitely can come in handy.
But that's when you get Aghanims, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's not really
And that's
likely to
position
happen.
5 as well. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen. In that last
Maybe-
game, I suppose with the Lina, it was good. You have that combo that you can set up. But
Maybe the teams are starting to think like the Soul Catcher. Like we've seen how
Soul
powerful
Catcher
it
is
can
really
be.
strong, though.
It's really
That's
insane.
True. That's
so
true. Soul Catcher is insane.
it's pretty interesting. I mean, he's also like this hero that he ruins a lot of carries, right? You just ult them.
Yeah.
And they can't
Who
really
cares
do
about the
anything. Like,
BKB,
everything gets
right?
dispelled constantly and all that kind of thing. Like BKB doesn't matter, all these things. So interesting.
Oh, there we go. Magnus and the Juggernaut.
I thought they might do it in the last game.
Yeah.
But they did have like the Darkseer Spirit Break already. But yeah, now this one, yeah, this is their jam. They're probably gonna ban out that Tidehunter, I'd imagine, in the 4th, 5th. So Secret, maybe.
You
they-
think this is going to be a Seb on Magnus, right?
Yeah,
Most likely.
more than likely. It could still be JRX.
It
right?
could be, but I really would like to see Seb on it for their own good.
Yeah.
And then you can pick something more active, something that can do more work on the lanes early on. As Magnus on position 4 in JRX's hands, he's going to play an amazing Magnus game, no doubt about it. But at the same time, he won't be able to do a lot of work early on and pressure these lanes. Magnus is just empower and RP later on.
I think if you're OG, you should ban out. Okay, this is one of the other ones that people used to do. So the Blade Mail build, right?
So strong
you go Blade
versus
Mail
Jug.
versus the power targets, and you call Blade Mail, and you're likely to kill the target.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe they could do like the combo breakers, the Tidehunter or the Omni Knights, the one that's just like completely neglect and make the Magnus combo kind of gone. The Omni's still a possibility.
100% win
But-
rate.
As I was wondering
Wow,
about the
strong.
axe, we have seen
that.
we've seen Mind Control do incredibly well, of course, on the axe, and I was wondering now why no other teams really picked up on it. I believe LGD is the one that also had it once.
If you
but-
shut him down on the lane, you're done. It's just over. If Axe has a bad laning stage. Same goes versus the Juggernaut. It doesn't matter. With the Blink and Blade Mail, you can kill the Jug definitely, but you need to get it on time.
Yeah.
If you get it a bit too late, suddenly he just slashes right through you. He doesn't care.
I'm wondering what supports they'd pick to deal with it, because you know what he's going to do. He's just going to go and cut, because that's
Yeah.
exactly what we've seen all the axes do. It doesn't matter if they die, they're just going to go cut nonstop and just keep doing it. So
And they can get punished
Yeah.
super hard if they do that. If you pick something, I don't know, some Tusk +1, and you just focus your 2 supports on dealing with the Axe.
Or even Bane. I think Bane is the
Yeah.
best one, because you sleep him and the creeps just walk, and it's really good. I mean, Clockwork,
There's that
it's
too.
Saksha. I think Clockwork is also one of those, because he's one of the highest damage. You just walk up the axe, you pop battery salt, he is just dead.
Yeah.
He can't really do much of anything. It's a little bit of a weird one, but I have seen some teams that kind of talk about it in the back.
Couple of fan favorites removed. Nisha's Morphling, Thompson's Invoker.
Yeah, look
No
at that.
real surprises there.
3 bans from the last games.
Yeah.
Team Puppy, he's
Yeah, definitely. He's a reformed man.
Reformed.
Changed man. Is he perhaps banning Monkey King versus the Ember on mid? What do you think? Something similar? Maybe TA? Thompson TA, though?
yeah. Which one's it gonna be, right? I mean, there's a lot of heroes that can lane versus the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, but this is a first pick Ember. He can go to the side lane as well.
That's very true.
And then you can pick something for Nisha on that mid lane. Because mid one is playing the Ember, right?
Yeah, they banned the
No doubt
Monkey King.
about it. Monkey King, yeah.
The 2 annoying heroes.
I guess you can lane him versus the Axe too. But Axe is creep skipping anyway, I
Yeah.
suppose so.
I think those are like the 2 most traditional Thompsons, right? Invoker, Monkey King. That's
And Pagna.
yeah, and Pug.
That's the 3
Yeah.
heroes.
That was the TI, right? That was last year's TI, but that's what the man was playing.
He was playing with Illidan before he joined OG. And I used to scrim versus them. Their team was called, can't remember. They had the Wolf logo.
Okay.
We lost 7 out of 7 scrims, 8 out of 8, something like that. Thompson was a pain to play against, and
Still is.
it still is. We never banned that Pagna, however. We didn't realize what was destroying us. That's the worst thing.
I mean, it's been a long time that he's been doing it too. Even when he was back on like the older teams, like when he was on 4 Anchors, like he was always playing the same heroes. So here's
Was he on
this.
4 anchors, actually?
Huh?
Was Thompson on 4 anchors?
Yeah.
Yeah?
But only after Matu.
Yeah, but that's like some new it.
Because he was playing with Trixie when Trixie came back to
Yeah.
Yeah.
play as well.
The
He
Phoenix
scared
stack.
me for a second. I was like, wait, am I wrong?
I mean, even
no,
if you
no.
are wrong, so what? It's just one of the stacks.
Give him the Jakiro again. Okay.
Yep. I mean, he crushed it.
They've got combos. It's great follow-up for the Magnus. It's good versus long distance versus the Ember Spirit. You can actually cast that like kind of out of fog, and you're a natural Yule's builder for the Axe. So
Yep.
couple of good things that can come
They're
out.
pretty slow though, but you can still perhaps deal with the axe when he's creep skipping. There's a lot of damage coming from the twin head dragon.
It's very true. That's one of the few, like, sometimes you see like these, you see like a disruptor walk up and nuke him or something, and he just hungers and runs at you. Disruptors does high damage, but it doesn't provide like a slow. This one provides a slow where it can really change that kind of factor.
As long as he starts properly. He hasn't played the game for a really long time, so they should tell him. I mean, he knows, but it's not in his fingers, right? To be on the right spot at the right time, because you can't start chasing that axe when he starts creep skipping. You need to be there before he starts it, so you start the attack prior to his creep skip.
I think we'll probably see that ward, the ward that we see like every time now on your
medium camp?
the defensive shrine, pretty much. Yeah, you put it like on your medium camp, block that camp just so you watch when the axe walks over, and you also block in case he tries to farm extra, and maybe even just like a smoke level 1 just to catch him. Like, we'll see which one they decide to double
Look
down
at this,
for.
by the way. Secret only has a couple seconds left in their bonus time. Just 35 seconds to go for their third pick.
Yeah, this Enigma ban out, by the way.
I mean, don't you just Rubik here?
Is a thing Yapsor plays a lot.
Oh, it is the Omni. Okay.
All right.
Oh, it is the Omni. Okay.
All right. Enigma, something that Yapsor plays a lot, and also a hero that combos well with Axe on the offlane. I've seen multiple teams pick Axe plus Enigma on the offlane, so that you can, even if you aren't creep skipping, you can pull the wave back. I've seen it also backfire super hard because you don't have that support that can help the Axe out if it comes to Axe creep skipping.
Yeah. So this is the, you know, what I was saying, the two heroes that come to mind usually when you see that Magnus. It's Tidehunter and Omni Knight. So they already have the axe. You don't really want to pick a Tide, obviously. So the Omni Knight is that 5 position that can do very well.
Just Guardian Angel versus the Omni Slash, and that's it.
And even in the RP, like there's no the cleave. Like cleave is affected now. Armor does not. Armor matters, so you can't do anything. Like you can't do.
You do have Purge. Versus the axe.
Yeah.
That helps out too.
And also, this is like that little AoE purge too. So if they do get Guardian Angel and they're inside of an RP, that can actually dispel it, and they can look to actually bring down the targets in there too.
It's a good pick. Not really conventional versus the axe, right? Because axe was considered to be really good versus Dazzle versus Oracle. You just dunk the target. You don't really care about that ult, but
absolutely,
Purge is what matters in this match, I believe.
Yeah, it's good versus Ember too, right? Ember gets annoyed. Sure, you can't dispel Heavenly Grace, but.
So you're thinking it's an Omni Knight for Puppy?
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely.
I mean, it's the first time Secret picked at this tournament as well.
There we go, the TA. So
And
the
the
Ember
TA
is
coming out
going
again?
on the side lane versus the Magnus. We're going to see the TA mid.
Quite a lot of melees coming out right now on Secret versus the
Magnus. That's scary. Long time ago, Jakiro was super good versus TA. You could put him mids and then... But that was ages ago.
Times have changed now.
Times have changed indeed.
Players have learned really well how to just deny and abuse the refraction and all that. So it's like, sure, you're pressuring TA, but you just get no last hits.
Yeah, he out-CSs you hard. Jakiro used to be popular mid like a few years back too.
Yeah.
I love that hero on mid. Gets so much, the experience, the gold, but not nearly as strong right now.
What's the Yapsor bring around hero? I was thinking like the Rubik was popping out to me just because there's a Magnus and a Jakiro. You've already got pretty good spells to steal. Yeah, they're banning it.
Yeah, Rubik.
Yeah, I think that was the one that stood out the best to me.
Good with the lift. Anything you steal from the Omni Knight is valuable.
Yeah. Wait. From the Omni
Wait,
Knight.
they banned. No.
I was like, wait, what?
They steal it from themselves.
Yeah. Yapsor. Thinking the Yapsor hero versus these. They want to follow up, right, for the axe, because right now they don't really have like another like lockdown to come down with it.
Well, Cole plus Skyrat's ult.
It's strong.
It's
The only fear is Oracle.
Oracle.
Yeah, he just Fates Edict the target and 0 damage. Do they have a? They don't have a. Okay, they do have a BKB piercing. They have the call for the jug.
They need
spin
something
TP,
ranged
but-
though,
And
right?
they also need a stun, don't they?
Yeah, I feel like they need a follow up for the axe.
Is
That's what I'm
Lina
thinking.
again?
I mean, it could be Alina. Something to help with the burst too. Their team fight is looking iffy a little bit. Also Warlock, man, not picked, not touched. Like, what's happening?
Strong as hero. The same thing happened after we said yesterday that Phoenix was one of the heroes on the rise, and ever since we've not seen Phoenix ever again.
Well, VP, they
Well, it's the
didn't play
VP,
anymore, so perhaps when they start
All right,
playing
well, I mean, they're out of time
Warlock
here.
versus the RP2 would be good, but instead they go with the Lion, something that Yapsor likes to play definitely. And
Ooh,
the
instantly
tiny
a tiny.
That is Jarax, right?
Looks like.
Wait.
Is it?
No.
Wait.
No.
Wait.
That should be mid-tiny, right?
Wait, yeah, you're
Mid-Mac?
right.
How good is mid-tiny versus TA, though? Shouldn't he suffer?
It's only 4 instances, right? Avalanche.
Yeah.
So,
The pick power on the app says 50-50.
I mean, I can't say for sure before I see who's on mid, who's playing mid when it comes to the heroes. But
We don't
50-50, pretty balanced.
Very balanced.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna need to know either a favorite team or perhaps something to look out for. Like, for example, Anna Slark, previous game. What is the
Magnus.
quote-unquote win condition?
For
What
me,
needs to happen
for me
either
right
team to
now,
win?
OG's Magnus is really important for them, obviously, if he gets those RPs right.
Yep.
I believe they will scale well no matter what, because Magnus plus Juggernaut, we all know how that works.
Yeah.
And Power the Jug, he just farms like crazy. He's a mini Sven pretty much when he has that Magnus on his team. So combine that with a couple of good RPs and OG can take this one as well. But I believe we might see game 3. TA, Ember, and Omni Knight on that team. That's pretty good.
yeah, I think the one to watch for me is mid one as well as the Omni Knight. I think Puppy's positioning is going to be really crucial. These Heavenly Graces, and if he can get the GAs off without it being like purged during the RP. So, yeah.
All right, let's find out how
Should be
this
fun.
game is going to play out, and hopefully for us, it is going to be another brawl because that was a lot of fun to watch. Let's head over to a commentary team of OD Pixel and Trent.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hugh. So, game 2, Secret versus OG. Some very different drafts, a lot of excitement. We've got OG sort of going back to the good old Magnus lineups that we know that they do love and have had a lot of success with. And Secret, yes, some Ember, some TA. We'll have to wait until we get into the game to see who's playing what.
Yeah, we don't know
but
what's going on.
Is it, would you say, is this Secret with a more serious approach than game 1?
More serious?
yeah.
I mean, more, I guess, like familiar, I
Yeah.
guess would be the term, right?
Yeah.
Besides, I guess, the big question of just like Nisha or mid one. Of course, mid one, just he's the Ember player. But at the same time, it's like TA is not necessarily one of those heroes that you really think of when you consider a carry player heading towards that mid lane. And
Yeah, we'll see.
I didn't even know that Tiny had a taunt now.
He
Look at that.
does, yeah. There was indeed that Nisha TA.
I mean, the last time he played mid one, or the Ember, see, mid one Ember, they're synonymous. The last time he played the Ember that I could see was about 11 months ago from
Okay.
Nisha. So
So, no Ember
you
for
know,
him.
you just got to assume that it's mid one. I mean, come on, this is the guy that
Sure, he
first
is-
picks Ember and builds
Yeah.
an Eon disc and somehow makes that meta for a little bit. You know, about a year ago.
Well,
But,
let's see. We'll see how Nisha plays in the middle on his TA. It is going to be up against, as the panel said, the Topson Tiny. A good old mid Tiny from Topson.
Yeah, some mysteries around what hero they get left for him. Of course, they banned out that Monkey King, which was looking good versus the Ember. But now the Tiny, just a hero who has gone on so many changes over the past couple of years here. As we already have a fight breaking out here with that Naked Axe.
And once again, of course, Sokrishka on Jakiro. Had a pretty good game last game on it. Certainly had a good impact for the team
This might be my favorite cosmetic of all time.
with the axe.
It's just so good. I mean, the Portal Cube was good, but now we just have there's just this
Oh, yeah, the
naked
Portal
guy
Cube
running
was
around
pretty
slapping
good.
people.
The
Like, come
question
on.
is this going to get topped by the Invoker persona?
No, that's
If
the
that ever
question.
comes out, you know, we're still waiting game. I want it.
I don't want to play with your Invoker, so that also
That is
works out
very
pretty
true.
well.
I don't think I think I have like a 27% win rate on Invoker. It's not good. It's not good.
Well, good thing you weren't playing last game, and he's not in this game anyway.
That's
so
true.
You'll see our lane setups here for everyone as legendary Aegis engraved Seb Magnus will
Yes.
be facing versus mid one.
Let's see what he can do. It's got a couple of great empower targets. Tiny and a jug. What more could you wish for?
And
They get those big combos. You know, the Jakiro follow-up to a good RP. It's there as well for OG.
it's also like you think about these Oracle players, and I think a lot of people tend to go towards the position 5s, but Jerax has just been incredible on the Oracle over the past couple of months here, and probably the most standout player, honestly, and really the only person who's bringing it out on the 4 role. So time for him to shine once again here.
We'll see how much they can get out of the lane up on the top as Seb. Should have a good shot at getting a good amount of farm against this Omni Knight Ember Spirit safe lane. Bottom lane, Sokrishka giving you up so a bit of a rundown. He's going to have a dual breath again in a minute. The mid lane at the moment, Topson 3 for 1. Nisha 7 for 5, so Nisha with the power at the TA is getting a very, very nice lead against that Tiny in the middle lane.
Yeah, I mean, Tiny here also with no armor too, so has to be a bit worried about just all of the right clicks from a TA. Always have to be concerned, not just from her splashing onto you.
Seb CS 7 for 3, mid 1 4 for 0. Seb definitely having the greater time. And this 2 versus 2 on the top, very hard, ready for too many plays to be made. They are going to try actually for Seb. Mid 1 falling pretty low. Seb, he's going to be fine. Another Purify Flame bringing him down, but the heal, it is working in favor of mid 1 indeed with that Heavenly Graces. He'll be fine. Jarek's unable to nuke him down low enough. And the heals only end up benefiting mid 1. Mid 1 will be fine. Seb's still very low, hanging around. He's got the 3 tangos. Just have to be careful of sort of the slight plays that mid 1 can come out with.
Oh, he's playing a dangerous game here though. On Seb, he's so
It's
low.
very low.
At the same time though, in the mid lane, you've got a DDTA here too, so I'm sure Thompson playing very cautious here, and partially why he's still a little behind there on the CS.
Yeah, his levels, his game is going to be slowed down at the moment in this, the amount of denies Nisha can get. Bottom lane, Anna getting good farm. Once again, a bit more pressure this time for him on the lane.
Yeah,
Cyan Yapsor sitting down here.
2 tangos left for him too, so has to be a little bit cautious here because it looks like Yapsor and Zai still pretty high in terms of the resources and the spam. Saksha even forced to do his own run back home here. So this is the time where he's going to be vulnerable there on the Juggernaut.
We'll see, obviously, with Jarek's, as you say, it's a bit of a different pace of game. Nothing in terms of these sort of cross-map plays going to be coming out early. The lanes are going to remain pretty static from both sides. They try to secure their cause a safe farm.
Yeah, we don't really have anyone that rotates. I mean, the Lion, I guess, is the big one. But you don't tend to set up those big aggressive plays until really you're level 6. But we do have ourselves another Templar Assassin game, so of course we have to be concerned about those Ancients. And for Secret, they have this Lion playing around the bottom lane, and Axe also has the double stout and the Ring of Health already, so there are moments now where if they wanted to, you could see Zai maybe starting to cut the waves a little bit just to get the free farm, and that gives room for Yapsor to perhaps get a couple stacks off there too. As the Radiant will scan to see if there's anyone covering that bottom rune, and they'll realize that someone was there, so no point going down there checking. It was an arcane rune there for Yapsor.
Yapsor will be able to turn back to the lane. Keep that pressure on Anna, as you say, those tangos now gone. Just a stick that you can rely on. Will be dragged a little bit to the side, but Yapsor not quite able to get close enough to get the follow-up stun. Can turn towards Sokshka. Bit of harassment.
Bold attempt there from Zai to see if they can make something happen on Ana there.
Without that regen, Anna could be bullied out. Especially with Yapsor able to keep the mana low, makes it hard for Anna to potentially rely on things such as the healing ward.
Yeah, Jarek's even smoking from home now too, just to try and get to this bottom lane as fast as he can, because he wants to be here for the rune fight, but it's not going to be quick enough.
Thompson is here. The Berserker's Call won't quite catch on to him, so that it can now turn and get the hits traded back to him. Anna is able to run around, get the bounty rune. See down bottom now with the Blade Fury, they can try towards Zai. Jarex is here as well with the root, and that will be the setup required for first blood.
There you go. The smoke paid off. It was just in time there to help just guarantee there wouldn't be a kill back onto Thompson. So cost you a smoke, but I'll call that one worth it there. And the group shrine post bounty rune fight, as we're so used to seeing.
And they secure those bounties with that play as well, OG. Still, free farm continues for Nisha in the middle. TA is going to hit those early item timings at this rate. Without any further contest, only Thompson that's ever coming back towards the mid, and even when he's there, that's not a lot of worry for Nisha.
Seb go, dude. I mean, this is an Ember before level 6, so of course those be a little bit cautious about his positioning. It takes 3 tower shots there, so he needs a little bit of help from the Omni, but the constant Empower harass hurting him.
Bottom lane, look who's setting up again. Jerax was still around. The root and that extra bit of burst damage from the Purifying Flames has allowed OG to claim another kill down on the bottom lane. And whilst this is happening, is Seb, he's alone. Mid one obviously very hard to take down because of the backup of Puppey, but at the same time, these two heroes struggling to really punish the fact that Seb's alone on this top lane now. He can be left here and feel pretty safe as long as he has that skewer for safety.
And we got the Jug coming now too.
There's Anna.
He's going to tag him out.
Yeah, has the XP advantage on mid one. So we'll be hitting the 6 before mid one does. And then there's obviously that threat of an Omni Slash. And early Omni Slashes can still be very effective when you have the Empower of the Magnus.
Still has to be cautious about this trade of the HP, of course, with the Purifying Flames, or rather the Purification. Purifying Flames, of course, sitting on the side of OG this game. So everybody's getting nice and pure here. Jerax still just chilling in that bottom lane, the two supports together. And Secret not quite sure what to do, it feels like. Do you mirror the rotations here? Do you want to bring the Ember down bottom, or are we just going to have Zai versus two supports? Looks like Thompson wants to try and come in and force a kill here. He does have that vision.
Zai is starting to farm up the stack. See if they get the toss back onto Yapso, and he goes into the root combo. Perfect follow-up there from Jerax. As he catches the two of them, he's going to be able to keep himself alive as well.
Nice.
Thompson with the setup, Jerax with the perfect follow-up.
Yep, and that lane ward helping us set it all up, right? You know, they thought maybe they were being a little bit sneaky there and just free to do these pulls and everything, but the dynamic duo of Zai and Yaps are pay for it here.
Really, we've got to look out for that. This sort of the toss into the easy sort of two-man route from the Oracle. It's a fantastic setup for OG to play around. They can easily secure them these early kills. Mazana now does have that 6. Has been left though on his own as Seb does move over towards the neutrals.
Yeah, he's jungling, and then you got a support camping the bottom lane so that Jerax can get something there, but big purification won't be enough damage there.
He's going
to TP home.
Yeah, hope for the TP back and get the full refuel.
Even Sasha's now in the mid lane too, so lots of economy being spread out here on the side of OG. But of course, although they're spreading across many heroes, you've got Nisha taking the majority of it over on the side of Secret. Currently not seeing a whole lot in terms of ancient stacks though. For our Templar, or our Axe really, of course. We saw that early ring of health, so with the Vanguard, it could be something that you'd opt for on Zai too. A little bit harder to, of course, get the ancient camps a little bit more reliably when you're playing on that dire side TA compared to the radiant side TA. I'd say she's quite a bit stronger there in the early game.
A very close start overall in farm, just less than 1k. Minute, about 8 minutes in.
Thompson's even controlling the area so they can't get up here for any stacks. And yeah, you see Nisha moves in here in time. Thompson will just have to bail out here and let her get the stack off. So the ancienting begins.
And Thompson can, feel confident to stick around with those phase boots. Arcane Rune as well. He's feeling very confident. Just hanging around and trying to disrupt the flow of Secret's farm. He's keeping two cores occupied here.
And they don't know. I mean, are their heroes smoking in here? Is this guy truly alone right now?
He is just teasing them, getting a bit of a look in on the XP.
Yeah, getting the XP, but not getting the gold there, even with the Avalanche.
Oh, so Jerax, he's headed over too. Zai, a little too tanky to do too much too.
Thompson not wanting to commit. I think he still just wants to stay close to the
He's going in with that Arcane. He does have the combo, but Zai into the trees means that Thompson can't quite get on top of him for the full spell combo. Meanwhile, Ana does continue to get the space and farm. It is even that top lane more open for mid one to continue. In fact, down bottom, they're going to get in again. And Zai, this time,
yeah, I mean,
quite get burst down this time. The tree wasn't quite there from Thompson, so Zai will live. And now Thompson could be in a spot of bother. There's 4 heroes from Secret.
That was greedy.
He tried to go in for that one, Yapso. He's got the 6 as well, so could build up a finger buff here. He's speedy Thompson with that face boost though, and in fact, Ana is able to get the kill on mid one. The two of them moved in. Yep. Him and Seb, I believe, with the RP, gets the kill. Secret will find the finger finish off onto Thompson. They'll try and chase Jerax as well. He'll go for the self-false promise. Anyone else heading over here? Soshka he's thinking about coming across, but I think they just have to let Jerax go here, as there's no help for the Oracle. Zai gets the dunk down. Secret get the 2 kills down bottom. He will lose mid one top. So OG able to at least find some sort of trade.
Yeah, so those rotations were well worth it for Secret because they saw that they were obviously getting pressured for Zai under the tower, but they knew that the bounty runes were coming up. So they rotate tons of heroes down bottom, but the only thing was that they were setting up top with what we saw was the Empowered Juggernaut and a Magnus. So they want both of those bounty runes, and they're going to be very happy to RP mid one if it means securing those. And of course, just getting another kill. So only 80 seconds till he'll have just another Omni Slash, and of course, he'll just farm away until then. And although you don't really think about Juggernaut necessarily as an easy ancient hero with the stacks, I mean, you got the Empower, you got the Healing Ward. Ana off to, again, a great start here. Not quite as good as the Slark game, of course, as Nietzsche's still a little bit above
this
him.
time he's actually had to get involved with some heroes turning up to his lane.
But Seb's not feeding, so there's also
Seb
that
isn't.
to go for. You know, their combined net worth is probably about the same as it was last game.
Definitely. Especially with that kill on mid one.
He's another Healing Ward. Right to the limit there for Ana, but A-okay.
Up top, Jerax. Come in and show himself, mid one. He'll hit the neutrals for now. Cannot risk staying too close to this. Could get caught out by a root play. He isn't too careful. Does have by his side Zyle as well. The chase from OG did continue, and Zyle is very close to having Blink Dagger. About 1,800 gold towards it.
Yeah, and they need that, right? Some way to kick off these fights, and blinking in a little bit easier with an axe when you have the Omni, but Sashka sets up something here for Ana, but it is an Ember. Oh, he's actually got no spirits.
Oh, I mean,
He's just dead.
He had no remnants.
Yeah. That's not something you see too often.
No, mid one. I mean, we talked up as Ember at the start of the game, but he just walks in the river with no remnants available. He just, you know, whoa, a mid one
Taking
Ember
a bath, I
dying
guess.
to a Blade Fury. That's a bit of a oof.
Yeah, and now Zai. Oh, they got the RP again.
He's not dropped it down yet. Didn't quite get in. See if he wants to go for it anyway. Mass TPs are coming in.
Yeah, I don't think this is looking too hot
I
right
think
now.
Seb will be fine with the fact that he didn't end up having to use it. And would not have necessarily. Well, I guess they do have Omni Slash.
Yep.
So probably would have got the kill, but it would have been
so close to
and-
Blink too. Just after this wave, he's gonna have it. And not even this wave, he just needs one creep for it. And we saw the smoke get picked up there from Yapsor. He just got the finger back. He wants to go for a kill so bad here.
See if they can get the opening onto Seb. There's the stun from the trees, Yapsor. Starting with a bit of a tease, but
Yeah, they need the next wave coming through if they want to go for the kill. And they have the vision, so they can time it perfectly, but Seb is retreating. And Jerax, geez, level 8 to level 8 as well on Puppy, so these supports getting a little bit of space here, and now the Deso complete here. So we got Blink on an Axe, we got a Lion who wants to use his finger again, and we got Deso on a TA. This is the time right now for Secret to go make something happen. 222 faster than this patch average. Wowzers. Probably a little bit weird because of the difference between Blink and Deso, but still.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we've seen a few Blinks people approach, but yeah, still, nonetheless, very fast timing from Nisha. They do have answers though. OG, they've got good save. Obviously, Jerax being able to offer disarms and false promises. A few ways that they can play around any sort of initiation that Secret tried to follow up with the raw physical damage of this Deso TA.
Oh, he's got a spirit this time.
He has. This time he's prepared. Mid-one will get himself out of harm's way though. OG smoked up behind Anna, almost certainly sort of waiting, hoping potentially for a bit of a bait. Maybe if Zai looks to initiate with his own blink.
Not an obvious bait or anything, right? Just the Juggernaut sitting here with a healing
Seb's
ward
now
hitting a
showing,
tier 1.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see now. Zai's still going to jump forward into this. Ice pass down. Seb's going to skewer in. This could be a good RP, and it does. Gets the two of them. Anna, he has got the Omni Slash. She's going to be false promised. A little worried that he wouldn't be able to get it off their Jacks, but with that help, it will allow him to do so. Zai taken out. They've already got two. They get mid one as well, as Thompson's able to combo him down on the side. Nisha's trying to chase. Thompson still being chased down in the trees by Yapsor, but Thompson turns. Couple of hits with the tree. The heal will keep him alive, but no, it's enough. They've popped him down. They're taken 3. Thompson's in. Jay's used, and Nisha will be able to try and get the kill. OG still trying to chase a little bit. The roots onto Puppy. But Puppy and Nisha keep the distance. Overall, though, OG getting 3 kills. It was a bait. I mean, you said it. It was a bit of an obvious bait from OG, but Secret effectively still fell for it.
Well, I mean, they got the RP off. I actually thought that was going to turn pretty well for Secret, right? But they got just a little bit split there. Now they're going to find another kill back, though. So they got Thompson. Now they got Sashka. So it's not a total loss here. But, of course, they did lose their Tier 1 tower. So all things still coming out in favor of OG. But considering how that wasn't the most synced up fight from OG, this is looking a little worrisome, honestly, for the next engagement. But Nisha didn't die. He got farmed. He's close to a Blink Dagger.
Zai does get the blink jump onto Jerax. Quick dunk follow-up. Disarm wasn't quite there in time onto Nisha. Got the meld hit out.
Yeah, he's extremely close to Blink now. Every one of these assists just adding up. Mid one now in here. The Tricore in under the Tier 1.
To see what they can get, but Thompson straight away in with the combo. They're on top of Nisha. Nisha's gone. They jump the TA. TA's out of the fight. Now with the skewer forward onto the two of them, slowing both Zai and mid one down. Can they escape this? They're trying their best to run. Puppy is there. He's going to be able to save one of them and pops the help out to Zai, but it's not enough. Zai's dead. Mid one's actually jumped back down towards the river. He'll remnant in, get on top of Thompson, but Anna chases down Puppy. He's cleaned up a triple kill. As Anna just getting funneled with gold after gold from these big kills that he's picking up in the fights, the damage that he has with that Empower, allowing him to get easy kills. As OG just, again, the aggression, chasing down Secret, making sure that they respond to any sort of move Secret try and make.
In the same recent interview in which Sashka swore to never return to playing prior to this tournament, he said, yeah, I'm not going to pull a Seb. Well, here we are. He also said that they've changed so much when Ana came back because he's just a different kind of carry player. He is, like his own breed, he is so aggressive. And in these two games, he is showing that he really is. You know, this is not some guy who's going to be on the other side of the map, doing his own thing while his team pushes some tier 1s and stuff. No, he's getting involved early on, and these are the kind of drafts that really enable that, because you give him this power, and even if he spends a little bit of time roaming with the team, he's able to easily catch and climb right back up there, especially when he does get the kills and is 6-0 and 3, but he also just farms these neutrals so quickly. And now has a Manta done here
17
too.
minutes, yeah, and incredibly fast. I mean, it really is it's exciting to watch, because you see on the net worth, it's sort of Ana versus Nisha. Now, the battle of the quiet boys. See which
Yes,
ones
the ghosts.
The ghosts, indeed. These silent ones are the ones you've got to be scared of. We'll see which one's able to come out on top, as both have incredible amounts of farm. So you can have the bigger impact, the Nisha TA or the Ana Jug. As the game goes on, OG starting to have a bit of a look in towards the Roche, but Thompson, he's in with the jump on the mid one. Zai does have the follow-up call onto Ana. Blade Fury and Omnislash are at the availability. There's the GA popped. It's going to wear off soon, though, as Zai's caught in place. Seb, 2-man RP locks them down. There's the Omnislash follow-up. Zai's dead. The rest of Secret now trying to disengage, but Sokshka, Ice Path laid down, traps both the supports in the river. Yapsol's caught out. Puppy's going to be chased down as well. The Rook flies in from JerAx. The Blade Fury chased out from Ana. They've taken down the Omni Knight. 3 dead. Once again on Secret. OG winning fight after fight.
You can see the Heavenly Grace, it's helping out in those team fights for the RP, because mid one's not being stunned for as long, because they're ensuring to try and keep him up. But the second mid one escapes from it, they just say, okay, fine, we'll just kill everyone else. And they just chase down this Lion and this Omni, who just don't have any way of surviving out of these engagements. And even if they're not getting the cores here, they're of course just instantly going right in towards objectives now for OG with the healing ward. They just hop on in here. They have the sentry down for the trap.
Secret's coming over.
Do they dare? They have the blink from Nisha. Yeah, they're going to fight this.
Thompson, he's immediately in. He's deleted the players. Yapsol's already gone out of the fight. The Root's going to be flying over there towards the Ember mid one. He's able to keep himself out of the range of the Blade Fury. OG, though, staging onwards. Ana's going to come in with a wraparound. The disarm's there on Tanisha. He's got to back up for now. Root down to Zai. Zai does manage to dunk down Seb. They've killed off the Magnus. Jumping from Nisha. He's trying to burst the Basokshka. The Ice Path's laid down. Nisha, he's jumped in potential death, and he has. He's got the fight. Nisha's dead for 50 seconds. Ana now turns his attention towards Zai. Puppy looking to heal him up, but the Blade Fury from Ana allows him to get out of the harm's way. Mid-one has the route onto Thompson, but Thompson, avalanche onto mid-one, tosses him back into the hands of the rest of his team. He's got a sleight of fist. He doesn't have any remnants left out. He gets right-click down. Sokshka takes him out. Zai jumps in. He wants to feed as well. Seb skewers forward, slows him down. Thompson's in with the combo. Zai's dead and gone. And with the Blade Fury, they'll now turn towards Puppy. Puppy's trying to get away, but the Ice Path, Sokshka, traps him up. He will be able to get up to the high ground. OG, do they want to dive any further? They won't. There's a Hex out. They'll back off for now. But each of these fights, OG just coming out on top again and again.
A rare sign of discipline there from OG, as they will relax and notice that, yeah, that dive probably not going to be worth it. So amazing plays there. It cost a buyback from Seb, but obviously it was well worth it. So they clean up another 4. But they did not secure the Roche, so something that maybe Secret could opt for. I mean, it is only a 2K lead at this point, which is, again, surprising, because last game when they were getting ran over, it was also still a pretty small lead, because Secret are still finding these little bits of farm on the sides.
Sokshka. Coach could be in trouble. Zai doesn't want to chase this. Could be a bit of a bait, though. Zai should be careful. Sokshka, he's got his boys around him.
The RP is back now, though, right? I mean, that was Secret trying to take a fight when there was no RP. Trying to find it. No Omni Slash.
And that fight as well, sort of 3K gold was in the ether for Ana, but now it's materialized. He has the Diffusal Blade.
Yeah, indeed.
The Diffusal Blade plus in power. This Jug packs a punch.
Yeah, and you mentioned it too, but how about JerAx, those disarms on the TA? I mean, there's nothing you can do. Until you have BKB, I mean, you're a Templar Assassin. You're absolutely worthless without your right click.
Exactly. You know, it's this hero that's got the same farm as Ana's Jug, but he's doing nothing in the fights because of JerAx. Now Roshan going down. OG smoked up, making sure they get the prime position around the pit to play with the counter plays. Mid-one looks to lead in with the chains onto Seb on the backlines already. Look who's jumped in. Straight onto the backside. Thompson, he's trying to burst down Yapso. Yapso will survive Seb. Post the RP. It's only going to catch Puppy. So not necessarily a huge one here for OG, but still that fight on. Nice GA, Puppy, able to limit a huge amount of the damage output from Ana, but still Yapsol will fall. Thompson's back in with the jump on a Puppy. He's able to get away with the Heavenly Grace, though. Ice Path, Sokshka again, trapping them up, blocking the fights, making it so hard for Secret to get together. They've lost 2. Thompson's in with the jump. They're chasing down Nisha. Nisha's trying to hide in the trees. The avalanche from Thompson clipping him. Can he get out of this? Ice Path again, forcing him to turn back. Toss is there. He's surrounded. Puppy cannot help him. Nisha dies. They just lose hero after hero, whilst OG stay alive as 5. They can back up to the pit, and Secret, they're throwing bodies at them,
They might
but it just
come
isn't
again.
worth it.
I mean, there must be a whirlpool or something in that river by the Roche pit because it's just drawn Secret in, and OG are all too happy to see it happen. A poor start to that fight, really, for OG, honestly. When he couldn't burst down the line, they almost found an opportunity to turn around, but you know, for everything else that JerAx has been doing this fight and through this whole game, the False Promise probably his least used ability. But sometimes it still comes in handy there, as he's able to bail out Thompson from that engagement.
I mean, really, yeah, and as you say, that is the big worry for Secret. As you say, that's a fight where a lot of things didn't go well for OG, but it didn't matter.
Yep.
They didn't burst down Yapso at the start. Seb RPs a solo Omni. They still win the fight very securely. They don't lose anyone. OG's able to now go back into the pit. And Secret this time, they're staying the hell away from here. They don't want to go there once again.
We hope so, at least. Yeah, it does seem that way as Nisha is walking out of the base, so not going to be coming over. And it is just an Aegis, you know. It's nothing too crazy, not worth losing 10 heroes over. Maybe just 8 was good. Got a couple items now coming out, as he said. We got a Maelstrom now finished up here for our Ember, so finally a little bit of extra damage here from mid one. And Thompson, that looks like an Aghanim's I see queued up.
Good old Aghanim's Tiny here in 2019.
I mean, that's an interesting one.
It's a
Without
flashy
the
one.
crit, it's...
Sure, he's not got,
It's
he's
not
not
that
got any
great.
sort of damage for it, yeah.
It seems a little questionable.
But hey, it looks cool.
It does look very
And hey,
cool.
it's a, I guess, small follow-up to the RP.
Well, it is the Magnus, that's
Yeah,
true. Because
you got
that's
the-
the one way it does work,
Yeah.
right? You empower the Tiny, and then you don't necessarily need the crit.
I'll see if we see some good plays come out with it. As you say, very much sort of the...
She's tough. It's
Sasha?
playing so aggressive.
That's
Sasha's
it.
just the bait.
I mean, Mid One's just dead. They just walk up and take the kill on the Ember.
Yeah.
As Mid One, he's had a rough series. Game 1, the Jara didn't look too hot, and Ember Spirit, I mean, here
know-
that's literally meant to be. It's not hot
I mean,
again.
mid one's a bully, right? He loves picking on support players. He likes just finding the back lines with his Ember Spear and just killing them when they have nothing they can do. But for 2 games in a row now,
Yep.
OG of these heroes that you can't really bully. I mean, you're not going to 100-0 a Spirit Breaker, a Jakira, or an Oracle. And mid one, of course, not even a farmed Ember Spear this game. He's far behind now. And we do have that Blade Mail that we heard the panel mentioning as being a great answer to try and deal with that Empower. But of course, if you're a Juggernaut and you're Omni Slashing, it's not going to help too much.
So OG pushing the base. Fortifications used by Secret, but OG's going to stand their ground and keep pushing on. They have RP.
Yeah.
They have Omni Slash level 18 on Ana as well.
He can just sit here. Healing Ward, he's got the spin too if he wants.
Try and drag him away. Nice use of the disarm as well, making sure that Ana doesn't end up hurting himself on the blade mail. Thompson's going to go in the combo. Keep them forced back. They're taking the tier 3 tower. They're going to get it. That's the tier 3 down to 25 minutes in. Ice Path as well. Catches out mid one. Will manage to remnant away. These constant heals from JerAx keeping Ana in perfect fighting shape. As there's a jump again, Zai. This time trying to drag in Seb. Ice
He
Path
missed
will be
that
off
one.
the mark. They'll get the stun out from Yapso to hold back Seb.
Oh,
Seb
Seb.
Hex with a false promise. As JerAx makes sure the Seb stays alive. Thompson in with the jump. Mid one has to remnant back. Being burst very low by the tiny combo as Ana now starts to focus on the barracks. He has that Aegis for 2.5 minutes. Zai goes in blade mail combo. They should be able to kill him once they do. They'll get the Aegis out of the hands of Ana.
Secret are playing so well here. They're dancing like ballerinas, but I
Thompson
think they're getting crushed.
Straight in on the backlines. There's the 3-man avalanche. She's going to head back with the Blade Fury. GA's going to be used, but now Seb tries to get in, looks for the RP, but the insta-hex is there from Yapso. He's out of mana as well. Cannot get the RP off. Seb's in trouble. He's gone. They'll get Seb. Now they'll look for more. The Ice Path, though. Shokshka gets 3 of them, and now the Omni Slash bouncing around them all is killing them off. Puppey trying to get away, but Anna's got the damage. 2 dead, 3 dead. Buyback straight away from Puppey. He's TPing in towards the racks. Shokshka will be able to hold him out and allow Anna to get out with the Blade Fury TP. As
Oh,
OG, they've
JerAx
just
is
got to try and
tanking
get
it.
out of there. He goes for the TP out, but they have the damage. Nisha will find him. So Secret will be able to defend those racks and push OG back.
Honestly, they played that fight so well on the side of Secret, I have to say. I mean, they end up having to cost the buyback of Puppey there, but the way that they were all absorbing like 80% of their HP, and then they're able to get back and try and retreat, trying to waste these spells on the side of OG, try and limit the resources they had left on that push. Very impressive stuff, but of course, Thompson just kind of waiting for his perfect moment to hop on in there. And good job getting Seb down there, at the very least, after his buyback earlier. As Thompson closes in on his Aghanim Scepter, just about 1k away.
Zai, he's going to get a good few spins off here. With the
He
blade
needs
mail,
some more.
Thompson's getting hurt pretty bad. Soshka's there. Can he help out? He has the ice path. Allowing Thompson to get a little bit farther away, but they have the control. Hex out from Yapzor that punish both of them. Soshka and Thompson will die for their attempts on mid. Secret get the jump off.
Zai, help, team. All right, he'll be fine. Doesn't burn that hard.
Secret's certainly starting to fight back. After initial defense, now getting out on the map, getting kills. Starting to catch back up in farm on these cores that have fell behind so far this game.
I think he's basically still just playing Slark. I mean, he's got a Manta stuck in there, but again, got ourselves a Diffusal. We got a Scotty. You can obviously go a bit different on your build when you have the power of the Magnus with you.
See the scan from both sides does catch them out. They know that they're right next to one another. There's smoke from Secret looking
That's
for
a
the
nice
long
ward
wraparound.
too. It sees Seb.
See if Zai can get him with a jump. He will be able to catch out Ana. See if Seb can help out. He's looking for the angle. He's going to go for the skewer initiation. RP's down. Catches the two of them. Can Ana have the follow-up? He's trying to go in. Does not have the Omni Slash available. Doesn't need it to take down Puppey. The ice path control from Soshka's enough.
Oh, it's Thompson. Misses.
He's got another remnant. Will be able to keep himself far enough away. Ana's still trying to chase, though. See if Thompson gets any sort of vision for a toss-in, as they do not have any high ground. So mid one will be able to walk his way back to the safety of his jungle.
Yeah, another RP when the Jakiro's not there. He's TPing in, so no chance to follow up here. It does help, of course, defend Thompson and even perhaps secure that kill on the Puppey, but it does also mean that there will be a retreat here from Secret.
Yeah, OG can have this 40-second window to try and do as much as they can possible. Nisha and Yapzor are going to try for a bit of split pressure to sort of break OG's attention away from getting as much pushed in whilst Puppey is dead.
Yeah, Yaps are even having to just cover Nisha there. Maybe create a kill opportunity if they send fewer resources home to try and defend.
Another tier 3 they're taking. Zai goes to the lead in. Instant protection offered by Jax. Zana still has the healing ward as well to rely on.
Nisha is still bottom. He's hitting that tower. He got the
pretty
tower.
fast.
That's a tier 3.
With that Deso, he does melt through the building.
They're looking for TPs. Ember's great at canceling these.
Chains are only going to catch onto the creeps, and already Nisha's just going to settle with the tower. He backs off.
That's a lot of creep damage, though, I'm sure. They look like they're really going into those
They're
buildings.
taking it. I mean, it won't quite kill it, but it's half the HP. We'll regen back up, of course, and Ana is able to get in.
Yeah.
Push the creeps back. Only level 20 as well on the jug. But yeah, Nisha going full in on the damage build as well, as we can see. Deso, and then the Pike is his only sort of saving item after the jumping in from the Blink Dagger. Not opting for the BKB this game.
No, he's really delaying it. I mean, he's just counting on Puppey, basically.
Like he's counting on Puppey and yeah, making sure that he can sort of find a way to get into the fights without that disarm from Jarex
They're
doing
smoking.
too much.
The courier's coming with the Aghanims. Wouldn't mind. Well, I mostly just want to see him use the Aghanims. It's a very selfish reason, but I'd like for him to go back for this courier right now, as Secret prep themselves in the tree line. Zai looking to be the big counter initiation here as they try and scout with the traps. Do they have vision on this courier? It's going to squeak past that mid ward, it looks like. Yeah, they do ping it. And there it is, the tiny Aghanims. So give this man the empower. So if you guys haven't seen the Tiny Aghanims, of course, it is a channeling spell where you select a little AoE and you toss all of the trees around you into this AoE. And it does a lot of damage. And so you really want to get the empower on him because it's a little lackluster without crit or without empower, I will say. But of course, if you're RPing and catching 3 heroes, then it's always going to look good.
Easy target to just throw a barrage of trees at.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work on buildings. So
No.
before you start spamming that in chat,
would probably be broken.
that would be very broken, so don't expect that to happen. That's how you end a game, though. I mean, that would be quite excellent. Bottom lane, again, the pressure's in here. This is not the Deso Ember we saw doing similarly the other day. It will just be a Maelstrom one, so of course not nearly as threatening here. But it does bring back Ana here, and we'll have to start thinking about these Boots of Travels coming out. But we have a Blinking Magnus.
We do now, Seb. Ready to make those jump plays. I mean, already we've seen him try. You know, he really goes for it with the skewers.
He's pretty
he
good,
is not
too,
afraid
I
to
have
just
say.
go straight into the 4 of them. Now with the Blink Dagger, yeah, Secret have to be careful with their positioning because a lot of the time they have been grouped up in situations that Seb will have the chance to get 2-3 heroes quite easily in the fights. Obviously, Puppey is the big one to catch. The GA could put a good stop to the amount of damage that OG can follow up with during that RP, but at the same time, as long as Soshka's there with a good combo, that extra duration and the fact that he'll still have a lot of magical damage to offer. Could render the GA sort of less effective.
No real vision here on that Radiant side for Secret. The best vision they have is honestly watching OG destroy the traps, but you can see all of these Radiant sentries just spammed everywhere to make sure the Observer wards aren't going to be there for Secret. So the smoke is not going to amount to anything.
Butterfly done for Ana. His farm continuing at epic proportions. Mid-1 finally able to get to the next big item done. Octarine is there. So we'll have those low cooldowns to play around with. As OG are about to head into Secret once more. Secret.
Yeah, there is an Invis rune on Zai, but there's also a gem on Seb.
So who gets the jump first? Puppey. Hiding in the trees, Zai.
Oh, he's actually alone here.
He's going to go for it. Ana needs help now. Is he going to be there in time? Seb skewers in. Won't be in range for any sort of
Nice
RP,
split.
but it has managed to take them away and keep Ana alive. Ana will be fine for now. Seb losing the majority of his mana, though. Yaps are able to suck it away.
Where are the trees?
See who they can find. They know that Secret split up. Zai and Puppey straight out with the TPs. Zai's out. Puppey will make it as well. They'll be able to disengage and get away from OG sweep across the map.
Oh, Secret. I mean, that Delta split on the skewering and Seb, he had to blink because he was so far away, so he had to blink first and then go for the skewer. And that gave them enough warning.
And well, of course, just able to make it in time, though, before Ana got taken out, because Ana was in a little bit of a dangerous situation there. They were bringing him very low. OG still maintaining that 5k lead.
And we talked about that first Roche, wasn't all too much, right? Just the Aegis, and did help secure them a tier 3 earlier on for OG, but now we're into the Aegis and Cheese possibilities now for the side of OG.
Thompson. The Puppey tried to go for the follow-up Fortune's End, but Puppey able to get out with that help of the Hurricane Pike of Nisha, forcing him down to the low. As OG will step into the pit, Secret. Tried to contest this before, wasn't too successful.
Yeah, it's a lot harder this time too. Like the blink actually there on the Magnus.
And then they're taking this down so quickly with the damage that Ana has. Secret, they are smoked,
Shadow
but
Blade there too on Jerax. That's an interesting one.
no way Secret can get this in time. As OG just take the Roche down far too quickly. Secret are not going to be given the opportunity to jump in. Aegis and Cheese secured by OG.
And what's the call here? Just retreat completely? Maybe hope someone comes mid alone?
They are still having around here, Secret. OG. They're heading in from the low ground. Soshka's going to be the one to be turned off first. Nisha jumps for the back lines. Will be able to two-shot down Jerax. Jerax spies back immediately. Soshka with a combo. The Ice Path. It causes issues for Zai. Zai is dead. A second buyback comes out from Soshka. They're throwing everything into this fight. Zai is bought back as well, but Puppey critted down by Ana. There's two dead on Secret that haven't opted to buy back. Both Yapsa and Puppey deciding that this fight is over. We don't want to get back in yet. OG with their own buybacks. Jerax coming in and Soshka as well. Ready to help them force straight down mid. They still have that Aegis picked up by Ana to work with. Now another buyback. Puppey realizes that he's needed for the defense. Has the GA ready to go. Thompson tries to get a quick pick as he jumps past the racks. Ana focusing the structures.
There are the trees, but only a few on the high ground to work with.
See mid-1. He's leading in. Taunt from Zai will be able to peel Ana far away from his teammates. He makes the run back towards them, looks towards mid-1. Remnants there ready for him to jump back towards the safety of the tier 4s. Fortification out from Secret, but this mid-melee racks looking to go down. Thompson jumping in towards Nisha. Nisha able to get up with a Refraction Blink. Seb in with the RP.
Oh,
He's caught out
cheese,
mid-1.
though.
Mid-1 dragged back. Mid-1's dead. Has buyback available. May have to use it and will do so. Wants to get back in this fight as OG there diving.
Thompson is so protected though, holding Cheese, holding onto the help there from the False Promise, and Jerax just lurking in the back.
And mid-1's in. He's got to be careful. He did buy back for this one. Ice Path off the mark from Soshka. Jumping from Thompson. Has the combo. Not enough damage to kill off Zai. Instant Hex comes out from Yap. So Thompson's on his way back out. He's out of mana. As OG, they got what they came for. They got that Rax.
So well played defensively there from OG. I mean, I know they're the ones that are approaching the high ground, but for the vast majority of that fight, Jerax was smoked. Like, that's how far back he's playing. He's still getting all his spells off, getting all his saves, and there's just, what's the recourse to Secret if you can't figure out where he is, right? Even if you have this Observer Ward on the high ground, he's stepping within range, and they have no idea. Just playing a totally safe game back there. And Thompson diving a little deep a couple times, but knowing that he has the cheese, knowing he has the backup there from Jerax. So.
I mean, it does the job. It makes it very hard for Secret to get in position to actually defend the racks with the way that Thompson just throws his body at them.
Yeah. Everyone just kind of panics, right? You just instantly start clicking back and don't want to get tossed back into the entirety of OG. Yeah, so bravely showing his presence there as Thompson jumps in, finds Nisha, but another good blink there with the refractions.
As Thompson will continue to try and chase this. Omni Slash at the ready. No RP though for Seb. Still on cooldown, and Thompson definitely going to be wanting to spend that money. Start to build into the Daedalus. He's got 3,600 gold that he's holding on to at the moment as this Tiny. But an 8k lead. OG.
I think they want a bit more. 2 minutes left on this Aegis. You know, it's very tempting to try and get high ground again.
They exposed Rax on the bottom lane. The bottom lane has pushed out pretty far, but they have got the mid lane coming in against Secret.
I don't know if they're even going to get that, though. Time is dropping there, and of course, you just have TA running top. You still have this Ember to have to deal with.
Or Nisha going for drastic tactics. The Divine Rapier has been queued up. Really doesn't want to go for the BKB this game. Feels confident in the ability to fight without it, or maybe just feels that it's a necessity. He just has to make sure that he's two-shotting, one-shotting, of course, some of these heroes when he has the Rapier.
Yeah, he doesn't get disarmed or anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
again,
get in, get a kill before any reactive play can come in from OG.
It's pretty much all on Puppey. It's just so hard to deal with now, Ghost Scepter and Shadowblade with the Aether Lens. Affirmative indeed.
We'll see Anna's farm. Just like in the last game as his Slark, just leaps and bounds ahead of the average, and a DD rune to go as well.
He's got a Moonshire consumed. He's a little unusual.
He's got it all.
This early?
He has got it all, this Jug. As OG, I mean, 38 minutes in, they're getting closer to being on the verge of 2-0ing Team Secret out of the major.
An impressive feat for any team.
Absolutely.
Especially for one with 80% power.
Exactly.
Sorry. Sasha's like 10%. Well, okay, he's half a no-tail. Sorry, maybe not. No-tail's pretty amazing, you know.
So, I mean, Soska's Jakira.
I know, he's been playing very
It's
well.
Jakira. Maybe if they get through, we'll see some respect banning for Soska in future drafts against them, because OG continuing this lead. They're up to the high ground. They're looking for another set of racks. Only 10 seconds left on the Aegis. They'll have to play with that in mind, Anna. Wants to commit and will be able to do so and get the racks before the Aegis is gone.
I mean, there's no point fighting now. I mean, unless OG are going to dive in and give you something really good, this is where you just back up his Secret.
For Secret to make the swing around, it really does rely on the catch from Zai. Puppey
This is a good moment for Secret, honestly. Like, they don't have the Aegis anymore.
But there's the combo. OG's got that RP. Anna just heading in onto the high ground. Starting to hit away at the tier 3 tower. Mid one. Trying to commit, but the Micro's there with a healing ward.
Jeez, from our perspective, he's actually so alone. Like, he probably could have died there. But for Secret, of course, they're not going to know just how far away some of those resources were for him.
I mean, Anna's in again. Every use of this Blade Fury being used to safely cover himself as he hits the tower. Zai will get the drag back with the Berserker's Call. False Promise reaches there from Jax. Make sure they can't be burst. Seb on the back. He gets the two of them with the RP. Drag back into the Omni Slash. They're going to get the three of them. Thompson makes the jump as well at the same time. There'll be a buyback for Nisha, but Zai and Puppey are dead for 70 seconds, and their buybacks are still on cooldown.
They want Megas.
They cannot come back to defend this. OG.
Just standing forward.
They've got the Megas. Thompson's in. He's on top of Yapsaw. I don't see any coming back from Secret from this position. The trees are out. Yapsaw taken down by the Axe Tiny. There's a buyback from Yapsaw, 50 seconds before Secret's going to have the full roster back up. As OG absolutely doing it here. We'll see Nisha, Yapsaw. They're getting to catch in the middle lane, but there's so much backup here. Seb with the skewer apart, separating him from Thompson. Thompson's fine. In fact, Thompson, he's straight back in. Tosses Nisha back on towards mid one. Nisha will turn to try and get the damage out, but Jerax disarms the TA. Nisha, he's got nothing to offer. They're chasing him down. He's surrounded. Another toss from Thompson. Nisha's dead. 2 minutes. No buyback. Mid one. He's dancing around. The ruse there from Jerax. Ember Spirit caught in place. Anna's there with a chase. GG is called. An OG takedown Team Secret out of the major 2-0. The smiles are out once again. Look at that. They did it. They lost No Tail. Soshka standing in at the last moment. They beat EG. They turn up today. They beat Secret game 1. And they beat Secret again in game 2.
This is a team that had already secured themselves to TI as well, just from the earlier news, right? Like, they're not even the lower expectations, sometimes that's what empowers you. I mean, that's what they said about TI. It was kind of, it's very freeing to maybe not have the same expectations that might be expected or that you're used to in the past, and you just feel like you're just playing Dota. I mean, these guys, these were 2 games of just playing Dota. You could tell in both games how much fun they were having. And of course, OG very vocal with the chat wheels, but even the play styles. I mean, a little bit unorthodox in some of the builds, but they're just diving in there. They're getting kills, and Secret, they don't look like they're having fun.
I mean, this series as well, you know, fair enough. I mean, you could have said, well, OG, if they win this series, it would be an upset. It would be a surprise. They do it without their full roster. But they didn't just win the series. They trashed Secret.
They did dominate.
This game, too, Secret, what happened to Mid One's Ember? What was he? It was what Yab saw. I think he only had like 1 finger buff at the end of the thing. That's not the standard. That's not what you expect from Team Secret.
No, some of their more signature players and the styles, we just didn't get it. I mean, YapzOr didn't really have a series, honestly, between the Lina and the Lion game because the speed was just a little bit too fast, it seemed like, for OG.
OG just absolutely broke them down. And Soshka, his Jakiro. You got to watch out for his Jakiro.
The dragon.
He had a great time in that series. Certainly had the impact in both of those games. And over at Topson, I mean, as you said, they were having fun there.
Yeah.
Topson certainly was. Invoker 1 game, Tiny Ags the next.
I think he used it 3 times. I think he threw about 6 trees total, but it worked out.
It really
didn't even matter at that point.
Really did. As OG, yesterday, beating Evil Genius in a best of 1. Today, beating Team Secret 2-0 in a best of 3. What is the future for OG here at this major? Who knows now? They could go the whole way with this sort of momentum. Well, that's a find out. But 2-0, OG take down Team Secret.
Out of the group of death with the stand-in through the lower bracket, OG, the underdogs. I mean, we do love an underdog story. We saw them do it all the way at TI. Could they do it here? Possibly. Well, I don't mind. I like... Right now, their victory today is for me enough to still have that underdog story in my head. That was amazing. Lizard, Fog, we wanted a brawl. We got a brawl. All right, let's start at the beginning. Fogged, where do you want to go?
Oh, Jarax overall, a very big nuisance in the game, right? Just he's playing a little bit of the non-traditional 4-position Oracle, as they were mentioning multiple times there, and he was really obnoxious. Every time mid one's even trying to just farm the jungle or farm a wave, Jarax would TP to the lane and just purge off his Flame Guard or something, or just try to actively follow him around. That is the most annoying thing an Oracle can do if you're playing an Ember Spirit. And mid one had a rare, very tough, poor Ember Spirit performance.
Yeah, that's not an Ember that we come to expect from mid one at all. But speaking of Jarax a little bit more, his positioning later on in the game as well. Like, you just can't reach him. They have heroes to reach him, but they just can't find him. You don't see him even.
Yeah, it was
smokes in the back, somewhere lurking from the trees, waiting to use that false promise if anything happens. But the guy that I really have to commend, the Ice Path, the French dragon.
The Ice Path.
The Ice Path, man. Seriously, though, Soshka, he just did a marvelous job in both of these games. This game in particular, these ice pads, and not only the ice pads. What I really liked about this Jakiro is the way he played the position 5 fat hero. He goes up front, soaks in. Look at these. Look,
I mean, he got so, in this fight in particular, he got so many.
Yeah.
So many, man. But what's most important is he baits these spells on him. He goes in front. He baits Secret to go on him. He might die, he might not, but he gives his team all the information that they need, and he just creates enough space for Topson to do these things, just grab from behind and catch them. And honestly, there's so many position 5s that I don't see doing that right now.
Yeah.
The professional players, yet alone a coach.
Yeah, I mean, they played really well. I know there's another thing that me and Shiva were discussing, like backstage, just the sustain. The way OG played around their sustain in this game was fantastic. I know we see this build a lot coming out, in particular from Seb on the Magnus. Instead of going for like your blink early on, you just rush the mech. You play around that sustain game. You play around your Oracle ulti. You play about just running at your enemy, and you're playing around, not relying on RP. So they have a lineup where you could say it can be a bit slow because they're relying on RP, but they played without it, and that is where I think is the key thing. He goes for this
on
mech.
that Empower.
Yeah, he goes around and plays around mostly the Empower a lot of the time, and also just him running in. He's just face tanking, and I look and they can't kill this Healing Ward. We talked about how they had this quad melee. Who kills Healing Ward?
It was really difficult. it was, I believe, Trent or Owen, saying that if only they knew how Ember is alone on the low ground, they would have went for him in this last fight. And what was he even doing there on the low ground? He was trying to reach that ward to kill it in the first place.
Yep.
They had huge difficulties trying to get to that healing ward to just make the fight possible for them.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is also, I mean, they fight all the time. You see it 20 to 8 in terms of kills, but there's only a 2k gold difference because that TA is still very fat. Nisha's TA, he's doing good on the farm, but he's not really able to do much outside of farming.
Yeah.
I felt like that was a problem going out for Secret. They just couldn't match the tempo of OG.
No, not at all. And he just, there was a lot of control coming out for him too, even between like the disarms that could come out from JerAx. We didn't see that one too much, but just so many different little stuns and inferences just didn't allow Nisha to really get these big fights. This one I think was one of the better ones that Secret was able to actually defend across, the way that they poked and prodded, but OG just showing, yeah, they had everything they needed in this
OG
game.
just showing what they can do with 2 coaches.
Yeah.
Secret getting wrecked by 2 coaches, that's probably a very bad feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To end your major like this, the last major until TI. Then again, I need to say that I believe Secret, this isn't truly how they play. I mean,
You're gonna give them excuses, Nazir.
exactly. I have to say OG, they played really well, but at the
Yes.
same time, Secret definitely underperformed.
For sure.
So perhaps they came into this game a little bit too relaxed, picking that gyrocopter in the first match. This second game, though, their draft was solid. They just got outplayed.
The underdog factor coming into play for OG.
Yeah, he's
Once
got ran
more.
at.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
They
This is the one.
spent-
This is the one full tree volley we had of the game there, and he kills Yapsor with it.
Yeah.
However, did they spend their underdog card right now? They can't use it again on TI. It's once a year, right? For OG.
Yeah, then we see
Perhaps.
mid one walks in
No, look
past
at
them
this.
to kill the healing ward, and then
There we go, another tree volley. Look at that, half HP on Puppy.
Yeah.
And he's going to use it once again and take down the Yapsor from 100% HP to 0.
Can we talk a little bit about Seb as well? Because his Magnus is
Yeah, there we go, the French Dragon.
look at that. He gave him the pound into the high fives, and he's like, oh, whatever, who cares, man? I'm just happy. Yeah, I mean, there's always something to say. I mean, Seb's Magnus, like I was saying, they didn't really. Sure, they got some good RPs in the game, but they were playing around like the mech, the Empower, and just
Yeah.
running. They were just running and playing fast-paced Dota, and it really did seem to catch Secret off guard.
And
It's
there's a
37 kills to the 15, 41 minutes in. They almost had a kill a minute on the side of OG.
And there's a reason that Magnus Juggernaut was a popular combination. Well, is a popular combination with that Empower. Over super strong performance from OG. As you mentioned, Lizard, maybe underperformance from Secret, but I like that they deliver enjoyable games regardless. The brawl was complete. The question is, how do you stop the brawl? Because that kind of was Secret's question during that game, right? How do you stop OG from fighting?
Yeah, usually what you want to do when you find yourself in such a situation is take a step back, try to catch them in their aggressive movements, be somewhere where they're planning to be a little bit earlier, set up the perimeter, plant some wards, and catch them in that trap. However, they were always a little bit too slow. It comes down again to the mobility of these heroes of OG. Yet again, Secret, they had Ember this game around. They had some heroes that could move across the map a little bit easier and perhaps take an area before OG gets there, but they didn't manage to.
Yeah, I don't want to put this all the blame on these players, like on the side of Secret, but like I feel like this was one of the times where I did see Yapsor as well as Zai really have some like they couldn't really do much inside of these games. Their performances just weren't there, right? They even said at the end of the game, Trent was like the lean and the lion. Yapsor was like very quiet. You see 8 finger stacks, 9 finger stacks
You
plus.
see
He had
like
one.
Anagonims
Yeah, he had
very
one this
early
game.
on, or even a dagger.
Is that like his play, or is that the way the game is set up for him?
I think it was just the way that the game was set up. It's a lion in this game, and he's the only ranged hero playing into all of this, and it's just difficult. If he gets caught by literally anything in that game, he just dies. A tiny combo, he's dead. So I think also, and I mean, I didn't even talk about it either, is Puppy too. They just weren't able to really have those 3 heroes, those 3 players, have their normal games. OG just didn't allow them to.
It's also about the meta picks and what you come to expect from teams. OG deviated from that completely. And you had some different heroes that you were... Well, Secret deviated from that in the first game with Gyro mid, that truth be told. But at the same time, they played versus Invoker. They played this other game versus Tiny. these kind of cores you aren't really used to be playing against recently, at least like in the past couple of weeks. So
I think Ana also just actually played like I mean, this was some TI form Ana. These two
17
games.
and 0.
Yeah.
17 and 0 this game. What was he last game? I think he won 1 death maybe, something like that.
Something
2 deaths.
crazy as well,
Something
yeah.
also absolutely absurd. Yeah, he played at the form that I saw him when he was playing at the TI finals and the upper bracket and all that when he was just
they found
Playing
ways
his
to
limits.
enable him as well. Like he can play really well. He's definitely an exceptional player. At the same time, they found ways of enabling him to do even more, to just 1v5 at some points.
The MVP chosen by people at home, of course, by clapping. Ana,
Ana
well
got.
deserved. It's the MVP of the
very well
series, and his Slark and his Juggernaut.
Yeah.
yeah,
Perfect,
for
brilliant.
sure. I mean, absolutely.
Here's
Like,
the breakdown.
Soshka taking that 3rd place, well deserved.
I mean, this
Yeah.
Jarax is probably a little bit. I mean, if this was the whole series, like Jarax in that first game, his Spirit Breaker performance was absolutely amazing. So we'll probably put him a little bit up more there, but I mean, looks
Look
good.
at those claps from the Russian and the English.
Yeah.
Almost the same. For
Very nice.
Ana,
Yep.
at least.
And look at
For Thompson,
how
however.
perfectly nice it is in terms of OG all 5 on the top, Secret all 5 at the bottom.
There's something wrong. This isn't the Twitch chat that I know.
Dude, they're not memeing.
Yeah,
They are not
memeing.
even.
But I mean,
Very serious today.
it was it was very serious by Twitch chat. It was very serious by OG. I mean, they not in the way that they looked, because they looked very like fun and jolly, because they looked like they were having fun. But the way that they played that game was just
It worked.
no BS.
And, Forward getting knocked out this morning, obviously already secured their TI slot. I think OG winning right here, this would have also, like, even if Forward would have lost, they would have now secured it. So now, they still had their faith in their own hands slightly. It's like, we
think
deserve it, and they hereby have proved
Not
it.
only do they deserve it, I believe this is a huge deal for them when it comes to morale boost, right? Yeah, Notil is in the hospital. When he comes back, they should be even stronger, right? But this means a lot because they struggled in the group stages. They weren't performing super well. And beating Secret and beating EG in 2
EG and
days,
Secret, that's crazy.
that's amazing
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
Let's close this chapter down because Secret, of course, eliminated. Any final thoughts on them? Still a top contender going into TI, I would imagine, despite their results here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think I think that they're probably like slightly disappointed themselves right now, but I think they're going to go back and they're going to be like, you know what? Look at our year. We've done great. They're definitely going to have to look right after this, though, and there's not really many more tournaments, of course, until TI. There might be like some small ones maybe coming around, but they're definitely going to need to just be like, we should still keep in our shape because this should be like a little bit of a, oh, man, don't let ourselves get too complacent here. Even if we're playing against a coach or anything, we still have to be working on our game, even if we're winning back-to-back tournaments.
Yep. That also means that OG will be facing PSG LGD on the main stage in a couple of days. So that will be an exciting one for sure. Speaking of exciting, though, we have got 1 slot remaining for the International 2019 for a direct invite, that is. And right now, eHome is sitting there, and they are not here, but Ninjas in Pajamas will play for them. And all the 3 other teams playing today have got a good shot at taking their spot. A lot of excitement with the matches to come, so stay tuned for more Dota 2 here at the Epicenter Major 2019.
I think everybody expects us to suck. So like when we even like remotely do good, it's like, oh, Alliance is back, like, oh, Rat Dota is back.
Итак, нам присоединился саппорт команды Alliance, Insania. Он, в общем, в целом впервые на мажоре и впервые в Москве, поэтому сейчас мы спросим его о том, как же мы здесь. Hello, thank you for coming here. So let's just talk about being a family, because I'm talking with a lot of players, but they are most of them just professionals, just only about results and so on. Your kind of way of doing Dota is really differently. What is for you to be a family?
I think in being successful in Dota, you kind of, at least in my opinion, you have to be friends. You have to like the players you play with, and the top teams are so good at that right now, so you're going to have to build it from the start, and you're going to want to play with each other because you're spending so much time together that it's just how it needs to be. So, I mean, for being part of a family, I think you got to get along, you got to like the people you work with, and I don't think you can only see Dota as just work, because it's such a big part of your life.
How is it happening? How are you trying to get someone who is your friend for start, or who is you really like how he's playing?
I think it's both. Like, you need to like how he's playing, but you also need to get along. it's over. That's it. Not so much fighting. It's just very fast.
So you're just calm, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if we're calm. We yell a lot, but it's like it goes over very fast. We don't get mad for a long time.
Okay. So and most of the teams just separating because of the losing all the time. You guys don't really good all the season and also in the past too. How it feels like if you just lose, you just keep calm, you just keep stronger, or what? What is happening? Why don't you separate from each other?
It's like I said, I think we just like playing Dota with each other, and we believe that, you know, maybe we're not the best team right now, but if we keep working on all of our mistakes, eventually, you know, we'll be a lot better. I think even though maybe our results haven't improved a lot from the start of the season until now, our gameplay is a lot better, and a lot of the stuff that we used to do wrong like a year ago, we don't do wrong anymore, and we do it correctly. I've said this in other interviews too, but it's a long-term project for us.
Do you read some Reddit criticism or something else? Because you know
Not
a lot of pressure.
sometimes, yeah, not so much.
Do you feel any pressure about being Alliance? You know, there's a TI3 champions and so on, and you just have to, you know, bring people, bring fans the same?
Not really. I think for me, it's been like kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, I think everybody expects us to suck. So like when we even like remotely do good, it's like, oh, Alliance is back. Oh, Alliance, blah blah blah. Like when we rat the throne, it's like, oh, Rat Dota is back. And then it's only been positive for me. Yeah, the fans have been like very supportive, and if there are a lot of haters, I don't see them that much. So bring it on, guys.
You've been a fan of Alliance before we got to Alliance or not? Or you just was a fan?
I mean, I have to say I was, right?
No.
No,
come
I mean,
on.
I knew the Alliance guys, and I was actually playing Heroes of the North before, so I wasn't playing Dota, but I knew them from then. I wasn't a huge fan, but of course it was cool that a Swedish team won TI.
Who's your favorite player right now?
Right now, probably GH or Miracle, someone with Liquid Boys.
So Liquid guys.
Yeah,
Don't you feel bad for Mato?
I feel very bad, very bad.
You can say stuff and support for him. I believe.
No, I mean, I don't. I'm not in a position to tell anyone how to run their team, but I was very surprised and I was very shocked because, I mean, like I said, I believe in long-term building teams and stuff like that, and I feel like they were an inspiration for our team to do the same thing. So we were very surprised. I was very sad, but you know, you never know what goes on inside of the team. Maybe like they needed a change, or that's for Kuro to decide. Yeah.
Is it was really hard to you when you switch to one of the guys who are right now sick and you have to switch it? It was really hard for you or not?
I think obviously when you take in a new player, the playstyle of the team always changes. But Madara made a very good job. In the beginning, we tried to adapt to him, but we found it very difficult because we were so used to playing in a certain way. But then we would he adapted very fast. He changed his entire playstyle. He tried to make it work for us, and I actually think he's a very skilled player. It's not easy to change your playstyle like over 2 weeks just to fit a new team. But he did it, and he did it very well. So he made it easy for us.
So you've now been in that position when you're coming to the minor right now, you're on major. This is long, really period of time when you get in some cities and tournaments and so on. Is it hard for you, or you just don't realize right now?
I don't really think about it too much.
Just being in some city,
yeah,
another
just
city,
next city, yeah.
Nothing happened.
No, not really.
So what do you feel when you just got to the major, when you got the slot?
We were extremely happy. When we went to the minor, you know, our goal was always like, we need to make the major, and then at the major, we need to make top 8 so we secure our TI slot.
Yeah.
So when we played NIP the first time in the winner bracket final, I think we had a different drive than we did in the final. We were very hungry. We really wanted to make the major. So also, we heard a lot of good things about Epicenter. I'm not going to lie. So everyone was excited about coming here for the first time.
So you just didn't got so hungry in the finals because you got already a spot?
I think we still wanted to win, but there was a different level of hunger in the first. Yeah.
So we come here, and most of the analytics always saying that minor teams are always better than qualified teams from regions. I mean, tier 2 kind of teams, you know, in famous and so on. Do you feel that this form, like, do you feel you're in a critical form right now and you can beat everyone to get top 6?
We have a lot of practice now at LAN. You know, we just came from another LAN, so a lot of these things that you kind of mess up in the beginning of LANs, I think we've already done it. So hopefully we can skip that part and just, you know, play some good Dota and no nerves or anything like that. So yeah, I do think it's an advantage if you make it through the minor because you played a lot more games, you're more used to it, you're like, your mindset is already focused, so yeah.
Okay, you can say something for your fans.
All right, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for always supporting us. It means a lot, especially I heard we're going to get to meet up with a lot of you guys here in Epicenter, so I'm looking forward to that. Also, a shout out to all our sponsors, Team Razor, GGBet, and Monster.
Yeah, thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to day 3 of the Epicenter Major Playoffs. We've got 2 more best of 3s on tap for you tonight as Alliance and RNG will face off, followed by the nightcap, Gambit against NIP in a battle of 2 European rivals. At stake 2 top 8 spots in the final major of this DPC season, and more important, quite possibly the last of 12 direct invites to the International 2019. That is right after Forward Gaming's loss to LGD in our opening series of the day today. 11 of the 12 DPC spots have been locked down as Keen Gaming and OG joined TNC, who secured their spot yesterday. eHome, meanwhile, waiting in the wings, the last possible team of the 12 vulnerable to being knocked out. There are 3 more teams all in action tonight that could claim that final slot. Alliance and Gambit need 1 series win to pass up eHome in the DPC point standings. If one of those 2 teams win tonight and the other loses, it is all over and they are going to the major. RNG, the lone squad that needs to win 2 series. So eHome, in order to stay alive, need to beat Alliance, need Gambit to lose, and they need RNG to lose to NIP in the next round. How ironic would it be if PPD was the savior of China? I'm joined here on my panel tonight for our opening series by Gods and Lacoste. Guys, we're going to start talking about RNG against Alliance, and let's start with this RNG squad. This is not the typical Chinese stack. You got 2 very respected players in Lanham and Monet at the 4 position and carry. You've got the Malaysian sensation Afu, who I love at the 5 role, and then you've got a pair of relatively unknowns at the mid and the 3. In fact, the 3 position, Flyby, just joined their roster in April. Gods, what do you see from this team?
I see a lot of potential. I think there's a few captains in China that just have a knack for putting together really good teams. In the past, it was Zhao ROTK. Nowadays, Lanham, he's kind of like the new era of Chinese captains. He's no longer a new era. He's been around for ages and is a veteran himself, but he has this way of putting together what initially started off as kind of, the second tier of Chinese teams, but he builds them up, he plays together over time, and form some great squads. RNG have a ton of potential. They look like a really good team right now, and very excited to see how they can do here.
Absolutely.
And I think we forgot to mention Super as their coach. Like, the dude has been in the scene for such a long time. I mean, he ended up 2nd on one of the TIs, and I think 3rd in
with Vici Gaming, RTK.
Yeah, so this guy brings a lot of stability to the team, and I didn't even know that he is their coach. Like, is that Super? Yes, he is. And I mean, this team has a lot of potential. Their picks are extremely strong. They have some cookie cutter strats, but they have a lot of stunts. They play aggressive. I think that one of the downsides that they have is their mid-game decision. I think Lanham is doing a good job, but some of these decisions can be better. They need just a little tiny bit to become like a tier 1 team.
Well, isn't that kind of what you expect, though? You look at your 3 position player, 22 years old. All right, he's just joined the roster in April. This is only his 2nd event with the team after the DOTA Pit Minor. And then you've got Setsu, which is, to me, the most intriguing part of the roster. This mid player, he's 20 years old, never played, that I found, professionally outside of China before joining this team. And yet you look at some of his numbers, 8-0 on TA since joining this team, 8-1 with DOTA. This guy, he's got some chops in that mid lane.
Yeah, and I think players like him and this team as a whole is really a testament to the success in growing the Chinese Dota scene. The fact they have this academy system with so many of these orgs, there's such a professional scene there with the way that, rosters are formed, players are kind of trade between. Like, there is a lot more obstacles and stuff involved with it, but it really helps bring in new talent to the scene. Stuff like their in-house league, the CDC league, and players like Setsu are here playing at a major and potentially, top 12, maybe top 8 because of that.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what ASD did at the minor, right? And I love that point because every year it seems like we see some of these Chinese stacks kind of come out of nowhere and make late season runs.
Yeah, there's a lot of new players coming out from China.
Wings, you know, some of the greatest Chinese teams at TI stories of these unheard of teams initially.
China is doing best job in discovering new talent. If you look at the, let's say, European players, there's like 1-2 standout players throughout the season, maybe, and that's it.
There's a lot of good individual stories. I feel like in China, it's not about one. It's just about the fact that, every team has several new players to the scene. Like the West, it's easy to talk about like a GH who's like, you know, the best rookie of the year. I think the Western players who do come out end up being mega superstars. Miracle when he came in, but you know, China's just there's so many more players there.
Yeah, and they get opportunities to play with some of the veterans, which makes a huge difference. Let's shift over to Alliance, though. We've gotten to see a lot of this team recently, placing second at the minor, taking PPD's NIP squad, who we'll see later tonight, to the full 5 games before losing to Aces Meepo. This is a team that made headlines last year, staying together after TI, despite some setbacks. They've had some personnel trouble throughout the year. They haven't been playing with the full roster, and when they have, like at CQ, some of the players suffering from some personal problems. This is one of the first times this year that we've seen this squad at full strength, and I think they have 2 of the most talented young core position players in the game. Lacoste, what do you expect to see from them tonight?
This is the team that has been struggling with some injuries, but they are staying together for over a full year, I think year and a half, and this is the strength of true friendship in DOTA. If you just look at your friend list, you want to play with players who you have good relationship with, you're having much more fun. It still applies to Pro Dota as well, and I think Alliance are favorite in this one because they were the hungriest teams coming into this. They also got a lot of practice, which their captain said, because they came through the minor, and I think they're feeling good about themselves.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's more for RNG. They had such good lead up to this, playing Chinese qualifiers, taking the slot in the major against some very tough competition. I don't feel. I mean, if anything, maybe Alliance favorite, but it's by the tiniest of margins. Like I feel like this series is so close.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is one of the closest series statistically of the tournament. Although I do have to say, our .dota.com power rankings actually really do like RNG in this one. It's just based on some of the strength of competition they've faced and how they've shown leading up to this event. But that's so. I want to highlight though. Kyle said something last night. I know Lacoste, right? Kyle said something last night.
You got to listen to Kyle. It's very helpful to know, you know, which way to go, what the outcome is.
That's
Whatever
true.
Kyle
You just pick the opposite. But he actually did say something that I thought was really good. He said that if he had a vote for most improved player in this DPC season, that he would consider Koikva to be one of the candidates. And I actually really agree with that. I think he has gone from being a very, very greedy, farm first, farm all the time player to a much more dynamic play style over the last couple months. I think number one, that's truly helped Alliance, and that number two, his matchup is super important against an incredibly talented young mid.
Yeah, during the season, he's been struggling throughout some of the months, and I thought for a moment that they're going to replace him, but there's a huge improvement in Koikwa's play, and Kyle is not wrong here. I mean, Koikwa, especially, I love when they pick Storm Spirit, Queen of Pains for him, even in the first phase, and he always delivers on those heroes.
Absolutely.
Okay. I would agree he's improved, but I think as far as most improved players goes, I don't know who I'd give it to, but I just think Alliance's results haven't improved to go along with his personal improvements, where it's like, I think you have to look at some of those teams who've had a really big shift in their results.
I think that's a problem that I've faced in evaluating several of the talent on Alliance, because I think Mike is as good a farm and core player, talent-wise, as there is in the game right now. I think Boxy is one of the more dynamic young offlaners I've seen. But again, it's hard to get too excited about these guys when the team hasn't taken that next step.
Yeah, and that's really the big thing with Dota, and that's why the best teams in the world are constantly teams captained by players like Puppy, Kuro, PPD, in the past, your Zhao 8s, etc., FY, because captainship, drafting, in-game strategy matters so much. These guys can make start players. Liquid pick up Weeha, and Weeha on Liquid is going to look way better than he did when he was on Chaos.
Okay.
Like, they could pick up like any star player, and they're going to make that player look better because of the system they've got.
So I'm going to play a game with you guys here. I think we still have a couple of minutes before the game. We might cut this off if the draft begins. I'm going to give you 3 narratives that I've heard, 2 that I've heard, and 1 that I think not enough people talk about Alliance. All right, the draft might start. let's condense it to one, okay? Not yet on the draft. Do you buy into this idea or sell the idea that Alliance has had trouble closing games and that's one of the big worries going into this series?
Yeah, I have to agree with that one. I think everyone remembered their games where they had 50, 60,000 network lead. Sometimes you need to play safe, especially in the elimination matches and matches those that matter. But at one point, you need to say it's enough. We need to close it out. If you just think about it, 50,000 network lead divided on 5 players, that's 10,000 gold per player. That's basically like 3 items.
Yeah, I don't fully buy into it just because I think that's more a symptom of some other problems they have as a team, which is just not quite always understanding how to play it. Because of the fact that it takes them more of a gold lead and more of an advantage to win the game. End of the day, they were still winning those games. Like, it just means they're going about it in a safer, slower manner, which I think is more just a sign that they are a newer team. They aren't quite at that top level yet. I think you have to look at what causes that rather than that being a problem in itself.
All right, so one more as we start the draft here. Alliance in this tournament are tied for the fewest heroes picked. 22 heroes in their 7 games, tied with Infamous, who only played 5 games at the event. And that was a problem we talked about at the minor. Do you feel like Alliance's hero pool is a little bit shallow? And that might hurt them.
Well, the numbers don't lie, but if it's going well for them, they should not change it. If they feel comfortable picking the same heroes, they should just go for it, in my opinion.
I mean, small hero pool isn't directly a bad thing. You look at some of like I mean, everyone's going to talk about Liquid when they win TI. You know what they're going to pick. They're going to beat you. Alliance TI3 is the most predictable drafts by the end of that tournament coming from them imaginable. You know exactly what they're going to pick. Bulldog, exactly what they're picking. Loda. You know what S4's hero pool is, but you can't beat them. The problem with Alliance is they're predictable, but they're not the best at what they do. So when you're predictable and you're like that slightly below tier 1 level, then it's a problem. Because you're not going to beat a VP secret LGD level of team by being predictable. And so I think it's a problem just because of where Alliance currently stands.
No, I mean, if you look back to the Frankfurt Major, right? OG was a one-patch team. Well, so much for that.
I have to laugh about this one. We had it on the screen. Alliance won 1 out of the 5 games against the Centaur, and they had a good ways to deal with the Centaur in that game, because I think Mars is extremely good since you can't just run out of the Stampede.
Well, first of all, Alliance probably has the best Mars player so far in Pro Dota in Boxy themselves. But it's interesting. I had a conversation with Loda specifically about Centaur at the minor. They lost a string of games with Centaur in the middle of the season, and they really lost confidence in the hero. They went away from it, didn't pick it at all for a while, and just recently have gone back for it. But RNG are going to go for the counter to Centaur in Mars, presumably in the hands of their young offlaner Flyby.
That's what I just said. I love this hero. I think this hero is underpicked considering how much utility he brings, especially the control in a team fight. You're always going to have that arena. And one thing I noticed about RNG is I don't like the teams who don't pick single target spells when you have Grimstroke. It's such a huge waste, but they always have some. And they also tend to go for a Doom. They're not going to get it here for sure because they already have a Mars as an offlane, but you need to pick some single target spells.
See what Alliance want to get with this Centaur.
You presume that it's going to be a support. No, okay. They're going to go with the Mike Juggernaut.
Just instantly, knowing one of their cores they want to get. You're going to have to, pick one of your cores before your opponents anyway, so I guess they figure why not get this Jug now?
I think that the confidence in this hero pick is very much about the specific player. Mike's Jug, the farm numbers he put up at the minor were insane. He had several games where he was at 15K net worth, and the next closest hero on the map was at 12, and one of those was against an Ace AM.
Yeah, being out of Blade Fury out of the Mars ultimate.
Yeah, that's the biggest one.
Very high. It just means the enemy 3 position, which is kind of their big catch and their big control, doesn't work against your carry, which in itself is like, that means if you're RNG, you're like, well, do we now have to pick some kind of other controller way of dealing with the Jug? Do you get like, your Shadow Shaman, something with a Hex initiation, something you're going to address the Jug through other picks rather than just be like, oh, we'll just pick whatever carry we want because we've got Mars Ultimate to lock him down.
RNG will need to pick up more control, especially since Alliance love their Queen of Pains, love their Storm Spirit, and they're also extremely mobile against Mars. It's always good to have. And they go with Magnus.
They probably just saw the last game with a Mag Jug and like, well, They could mag. I don't know if mag with Centaur is necessarily the best thing, but 4-position Magnus is always feasible.
One thing you do have to worry about, though, is that RNG, a big box that they will need to check in this draft, is the spell immunity piercing disables. And they've already banned 3 of the big heroes that deal well with BKB. Whereas Alliance I can't disagree, they've concentrated their last 2 bans on these Setsu heroes mid. TA and OD. TA's 8-0 with, and OD is his most picked hero at 13-6.
Yeah. Shadow Shaman is still in the pool. I don't think his win rate in this tournament is the greatest, but it always feels so good to have him with the Grimstroke.
Yes, and that's a hero. We saw that exact lane, the Mars plus Shaman. Like, it's a pretty strong dual lane.
In the last game last night. Yeah.
It's just a hero, the Shaman, that is actually good. It's good against the Jug. It's not BKB piercing or Blade Fury piercing, but it's the fact you can initiate from Fog with this Aether Lens or just get a Blink Hex, and you can catch the Jug with that Hex before he gets off Blade Fury. So it does work very well against these spell immune cores.
So probably not going to see it with the 3rd pick, but it's worth mentioning to me. Alliance have banned out the 3 of the big mid heroes for Setsu. The one that's left that he's had the most success on is the Medusa. He is 8-1 on that Medusa. And this is a look. RNG has shown this twice in a tournament. They lost the Secret with it, and they beat Fnatic with it. The Chaos Knight in the hands of Monet.
Yeah, with the illusions, it's also such a strong lane if they decide to go CK and Grimstroke together, a lot of kill potential. And with CK illusions, you are having a hard time finding a good Omni Slash.
And Jug, like, you can go Battle Fury to cleave and deal with those, but it doesn't really feel good going Battle Fury on Jug these days as much. And CK is a hero that's playing fast, so if you're going this Battle Fury build, it's a slower, greedier style, and it can be punished by a CK.
You might not want to give it away right now, but the Leshrac is still on the board. Is a hero that I like. Oracle still on the board. Could be at least a decent option.
Yeah, I think they don't have any kind of a save here, or you want to support that deals with like AoE to help deal with the illusions like the Jakiro or something. I think Jakiro is not a bad support. You also want something that synergizes with Jug in lane, so you actually have kill threat with the Blade Fury, so you want either a stun or like a good slow.
One of the heroes that I like against Mars is Tusk, because if you are caught in his ulti, you always have a snowball to save whoever is caught inside and pretty much waste the full duration of the ulti. And it's such a strong lane if they decide to go for a Centaur and Tusk. You always have like these two kind of semi-initiations before a Blink Dagger with the Snowball, with the Stampede.
Yeah. Of course, the other hero that Alliance run around a lot is the Tiger Earth Spirit.
Earth Spirit against the CK plus Mars, like those are very beefy heroes that aren't too afraid of the Earth Spirit. Okay. This is a hero that makes them less beefy, which is part of this, and also it's AoE. Talk about the AoE factor against the CK. Well, you've got Earth Splitter, you've got your AoE Stomp. CK is just not a hero that naturally wants to build BKB, definitely can. Regardless, your illusions are going to get hit by this AoE stun.
One of the problems that the Alliance have right now is 3 melee cores, 3 heroes. The ET is not going to be a core against a CK, against Mars, Grimstroke. It's going to be hard for them to deal the damage. Like, they can't get that close. And it's ideally for CK to play against melees.
One of the things we saw earlier today was Forward Gaming try out the Elder Titan at the 5 position with Pile Die. More conventionally a 4. Do you expect that to be the case in this game?
It's flex. It depends what kind of other support they want.
There's the Shadow Shaman you guys were talking about.
Makes a lot of sense. There was a 5-position ET from LGD as well. And that was because they had Rubik maybe as FY?
Yeah, FY.
I want to say it was Rubik ET.
Okay.
ET is just flexible. It's not a hero that necessarily needs a lot of items. It's quite a strong laning 5 position as well. I don't expect it to lane with the Jug though. So if it's a 5, I think it's like one of those 5 players who's going to go with the offlane just because it's not really a setup for the Jug in lane.
That's one of my favorite things about these majors is that you can see the meta develop throughout the tournament. ET was not picked very much in the tournament into today's games, and we've seen him multiple times already.
Oh, this is another.
Oh man!
There's your damage. You mentioned
Well,
it could be a 4 too.
Well.
That's the really neat thing here. You talk about flex value.
during the minor, we saw a lot of Zeus position 4, and
Did Alliance do it at all? Or?
I'm not sure if Alliance did it, but 5 mangoes, Dangos, you just keep spamming the bolt. You always have the vision advantage, and you rush Aghanim Scepter. That's the build. So you have like this double global presence.
I don't like. It sounds bad for me. It looks bad to me this game to do a support Zeus. Like I just feel like your only catch right now is this Centaur stun, and that's not even reliable because of the cast time. I think you just run it mid as your main damage dealer, your main source of damage. You're playing against CK with his ultimates. CK is forced to go this BKB this game basically against ET Zeus. That's like a good thing for Alliance, but now they need some kind of support with maybe some additional lockdown and control. They're expecting a support Zeus. They banned Lone Druid. So.
Yep. We have not seen a lot of Cork for Zeus recently, but I do agree with you guys. I think it's I mean, as a support though, one of the things that you look at with supports is just the raw efficiency, raw mana to damage. All right. And Zeus is one of the best supports in that regard, that he's just a damage engine.
Yep.
And the problem with position 4 Zeus in this game is if it's going to be a position 4. And
it's the mid.
Mid.
That, by the way, I believe is the first disruptor pick or ban in this tournament, which is very surprising to me.
This is what they need. They need some catch. They had no real catch or pick off. Centaur stun is just not reliable enough. Zeus is going to deal a ton of damage, and that's why I like it as a core. You've got ET to amp up his magic damage. It's a great core Zeus game.
All right, so what are you lacking here for RNG? Do you need something like an Ember? I mean, I think Dusa feels both greedy and I think Alliance have the damage to deal with it.
Yeah,
they have enough control. I don't think they lack damage, especially if they throw everything into Mars ulti.
Could be a Storm game.
Storm is banned.
Storm's banned, yeah. Storm and Quap. The last 4 bans by Alliance really trying to limit the hero pool of Setsu.
Yeah. Ember's okay. Just gives you catch, way to get on top of Zeus. That always feels nice. Sniper also looks pretty decent.
Ooh, I like that suggestion.
The Centaur Stampede you're playing into, but I think overall this lineup doesn't deal that well with Sniper.
Sniper punishes Zeus in lane too, right?
Yeah, it's a overall decent lane for Sniper.
And they can go for more team fight oriented, something
nice that Lacoste mentioned because it gives them objective taking. Like CK doesn't hit buildings amazingly well, doesn't really take Roshan, but Death Prophet gives you a lot of objective taking.
Oh, whoa! And the
Juicy.
10th pick Brood, and
Juicy.
Guys, I think this is pretty good Brood.
Okay,
game.
so they need to swap things around because Zeus can't lane against Brood.
Yeah,
Centaur with the return and double stout shield, he can lane against Brood Mother. Doesn't have any problems. Yeah, they need to adjust.
Yeah, and Zeus does okay early levels with the arc. But yeah, at some point, once Brood gets high enough level, it's just going to overrun the Zeus. And that's the key thing about playing Zeus, having a way to get on top of him and just dive at him and force him to run away instead of casting spells.
Alliance has dealt with this before. Remember in the minor, they dealt with a surprise 10th pick Zeus, and they rotated a Boxy Omni Knight mid to deal with it. So Boxy does know how to play against that hero. Guys, ahead of game 1 here, who's your pick?
I'm going to go with RNG, even though before I saw the picks, I said the Lions has higher chances overall. I think this draft has a lot, and Mars is one of my favorite heroes to watch. They have a lot of control. Grimstroke and Shadow Shaman bring so much control into a team fight. And also Broodmother 10th pick, it's always hard to play against.
Yeah, I'll cautiously agree. I think Alliance have ways. You know, we mentioned the lane swapping. It's a great Zeus game, all the damage amp they've got with it, but would slightly lean towards RNG as well.
All right, our panel are 2-0 for RNG, a best-of-3 series with a TI9 slot potentially on the line. And to bring you all the action, we'll send you out to our Dota 2's favorite casting duo. Here are Toby 1 and Kyle.
I don't think you're an our Dota 2. I think you're an our Artifact for that type of review. Thank you, Nahaz. Kyle, we're here for hopefully some terrific Dota. A Broodmother pickup at the end. We see our Zeus appear, Disruptors. So we've got some interesting, different things to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the Brood pick kind of ruins everything Alliance had going for them. Until that last pick, I did favor their draft, but that is the strength of the second pick position, especially on the Radiant side, which is still favored in most games.
So the Brood doesn't work in mid for what reasons? Let's just run through that.
It doesn't work in mid? What?
Sorry, the Zeus doesn't work.
Oh yeah, you
The
can't
Zeus
kill the
doesn't work in
spiders.
mid. Yeah.
You can harass the spiders, and I think in like 3 or 4 chains, if you spammed them, you would kill most of them. But the problem is that he'll just micro them away, and all of a sudden they regen to full HP, and then they're right back on top of you. You don't have the mana pool to sustain. You can do okay in the first couple of levels. I expect that he'll go for more of like a double null build, or just try and abuse damage, because you will have like 20 on Brood at the early levels. Of course, the Quelling Blade does neutralize that advantage. But as the levels and Spider Army grow, Zeus really has to just leave the lane. And if I'm Alliance here, I'm thinking maybe I put the Centaur against the Brood, at least later on into the game. So at least they have that answer in the sense that there is a hero that can be planted on the tower to prevent him from taking it.
I'm seeing more and more players doing this, where they walk in range of the tower to see where the vision is, to see, like, try and find the observe ward. This time, like, Tiger got hit by the tower, but the ward's on the other side. So we actually waste the sentry in mid lane. Bounty Runes is going to be a 3-1 split in favor of RNG. No contest on the bottom lane.
Yeah, and you can also see they're actually going to do what I think it might be ideal here, and the
switch
Centaur is
up.
just mid. Yep, you don't want Zeus there. Theoretically, the first couple levels can be okay, but as I said, like you have to rotate out at some point, so why not just put him against the CK Grimstroke combination? As long as you're able to keep your ET between you and the enemies, you should be fine.
It feels a little nicer as well, at least having like the ET with the Zeus early on, because that's that synergy you were looking to see Alliance utilize. And then Tiger can try and come in and push him hard. Even though he's having a little bit of trouble on the bottom lane, gets hit heavily by the stuns. Just the issue in the other abuse, like we saw this time and time again during the minor. And Vorgessa, they were the ones who were always abusing this CK as well as Grimstroke, just the ink swell, and your reality rift, you just pull in whoever you want on top of you, and then you can save your stun for later.
It's pretty much any of these melee strength cores with stuns, right? The CK, the Sven, the Wraith King, anything with a Grimstroke just looks far more powerful because you get that immediate catch, double stun combo. Oh, look at this bottom.
Oh, actually just doing it again. Tiger wanted to come in and harass. He had plus 61 damage. Now he makes a break for the tree line. That movement speed, but they cut through it. Afu finds the first blood on Alliance's dual off lane, unwillingly kind of running it, but Mickey looking for his own revenge into Lanham with the spin. They can't get a lot of damage in, and now maybe flyby. Can't find his own target.
Really well played there by Lanham, just to continuously attack move. If he doesn't push for damage there, Mickey can just chase and potentially get the last hit.
Kind of like that from Flyby. I think he actually had the spear off cooldown when Mickey was running away, but he wanted to wait to try and cancel the salve, but ended up missing the spear.
Yeah, the bright spot for Alliance, though, is they did get the lanes they wanted, and Brood is not nearly as scary when you have this hero like Centaur that can sit in a lane and free farm against it. It ends up favoring the Centaur. Boxy will have this excellent time in the game, and RNG need a huge game from their Brood to be able to take it. Their lineup doesn't scale as well as Alliance's.
This is nice from Mickey.
Yep.
He finally gets that catch-up that he was looking for previously. And it feels like Juggernaut, there's a lot of pressure. Like we're seeing some Juggernauts that have really been underwhelming. And like, how does Juggernaut stand up against the damage output that can come from the CK and the control from the rest of RNG?
Oh, it's just Jug is a hero that has to be ahead, but from the laning phase to the mid game. Otherwise, you just start falling off. And thinking about it, even though the Brood pick was scary, which is still what I'm most concerned about if I'm an Alliance fan, you got to figure that they've got enough experience to be confident against this hero. They picked it before it became meta, and they definitely have a good understanding of what the weaknesses of the hero are. And you can already see, like, Boxy double shield. This is classic. Whenever you're playing against the Brood Spiders, you increase the block percentage from 50 to 75%. And in addition, you block all of the damage from these little spiders. And then you just buy a Vanguard, and Setsu will be able to do nothing but watch Boxy stand in lane and last hit freely.
Well, they're having some fun up on top lane. Mickey attempted to start off with Insania's wall.
Yeah.
Ended up catching the Shaman in position there.
So far, so good for Alliance. Look, bottom as well. The CS is even, but I'd say that definitely favors Alliance when you consider both heroes are suffering. And they're free farming on both of their big cores at the moment. A passive game certainly is going to favor Alliance, because RNG, they want to push the tempo early, try and take these tier 1s by the 10 to 12 minute mark. It's important they make plays around the catapults. But that's going to be difficult. Like, where's the magic damage coming from that'll actually be able to deal with Boxy? Like, this is the highest strength gain hero in Dota 2 as a mid laner that'll be buying Vanguard by 6 minutes.
And he can push buildings. Like, that's the way he also can function. Koifa can do the counter pushing up as, oh, nice 2 seconds done. They realize the amount of damage the Tiger. Scotty's moving down and hitting to Afu, but the stun control is way too good. And Alliance, once again, they feel like they can get a kill in this duel off lane, and once again, they get denied by RNG.
Yeah. And the CK had 14 wand charges as well. It's not as if he's going to fall off anytime soon down here. You got to just be less aggressive, I think. I'd love to see maybe some more creep pulls, because playing aggressively into CK Grimstroke, you're just, how does a Zeus CT land a kill without a major error from your enemies? You don't have real disable, whereas the Grimstroke CK have multiple forms.
And actually, it feels a little like deceiving for the mid lane was the CS. 38-7 against the Broodmother 24 for 9. Net worth wise, it's about 150 gold that separates the two of them.
Yeah, I think it's the XP that's more important, and the fact that Brood definitely wants to play aggressive side of the map, not just be relegated to his own jungle. But one of the things about this hero, much like TA, hold up bottom.
Yeah, here they go again. Just the 1 second stun from Monet doing try and ensure that Tiger can't walk this off.
Yeah. After the changes to Ancients, now that there's only one camp as well, it's a super value spot to gain resources, but there's very few heroes that can actually utilize it early on in the game. And you'll notice that all of the ones that can't, notably TA, Sven, and Brood, are all meta. Specifically TA and Sven, who can actually do the stacks. Brood is just going to farm single camps up there, but one of the reasons we see TA so much, not just because the refraction on deny, that's a whole other point, but you can do Ancient stacks by yourself at like level 8. That's just not okay. And Stampede up now, so Alliance can look to get aggressive. You'll have a Vanguard on Boxy in a moment as well.
Makes it actually kind of difficult for RNG to do any level of rotation. Like you're talking about taking Ancients, but like there's no hero that can just move in the lanes. The Shaman as well as the Grimstroke from RNG. Like where is their movement meant to come? Is it meant to stop Alliance?
Yeah, so I'm surprised that RNG just kind of gave Alliance this laning setup. I expected there to be some shenanigans. I didn't think that Alliance would just get Centaur versus Brood the entire game. This is ideal for them.
Unless RNG just like, the Broodmother's still going to win out at the end of the day, because I suppose the Centaur doesn't have to leave the mid lane, but it's fine. The Brood should never fall behind.
The thing is, bottom is not doing as well as you would hope, because they've fed a couple of kills to that Grimstroke CK combo, and sure, Mickey is farming top, but it's a trade, whereas bottom, Zeus has a very difficult time sticking into the lane, actually behind the Grimstroke significantly in net worth already. And it only gets worse here. They can go for a kill whenever they want.
Tiger's still very uncertain about it. Spirit into the stomp, just trying to create a little bit of space, having to move it a little bit further over. Let's get the double stomp, and Sanius rotated himself in. They want the kill on after Koifa, barely staying alive, moves into the tree lines, cuts through one, then jukes up to the north. Insanius got to body block it out, but no, he actually body blocked up Koifa instead. Couldn't get the right positioning for it, so Monet gets his crit in and finds the kill on the Zeus. While up on top lane, Mickey's in a lot of trouble. Hex is out into the trees, a quick healing ward. This may give him just enough life to be able to survive a little bit longer, but where's the support? One charge to get burnt. The healing ward does get killed off. And RNG, well, you've got your first control, but there's no real follow-up from Flyby that can be utilized.
You're okay with that, though. Mickey, that's all because the teleport bottom really heads up play by RNG. As soon as you see that a support has abandoned top, you immediately look to pressure the carry. You're going to force a wand and a bunch of regen needing to be purchased. And bottom Koifa still, even with that rotation, it's nice. It gets him a little bit back into it, but there's still not much you can do to contest the CK, who's already doubled him up in net worth.
Yeah, they just try and hold in. If there's an opportunity, sure, they'll go for it, but the Elder Titan's functioning very much like just the babysitting off laner. Make sure the Zeus doesn't have a terrible lane. Make sure the CK doesn't have a free lane.
I'm curious to see how Boxy itemizes in this game, because he could theoretically just go for this super beast Centaur build. Like, I envision maybe even buying like some heart third item, because there's no real method RNG have of killing him in this game if he gets himself strong enough. I think that if there were a game for not buying Blink, this would be it. It's especially because you have a disruptor, right? So in reality, you can play Centaur like a bristleback and trust that you'll always have catch behind him thanks to your 5 position. It'll be interesting to see what he looks to do here, because they also don't have that real initiation unless he does buy that Blink Dagger.
Well, right now he's just going through the normal motions. The chainmail has got boots in his quick buy, shackles are out. Now RNG, they bring the damage in and we see if they can break through a Centaur. Mickey wants to help out, but they have enough damage. They get the Centaur down and Mickey into the spin. They have Afu caught inside that static field. And they don't have enough damage to get the job done. Now Mickey slowed down, hitting him hard, a quick glimpse back, but you've already got the shackles. They get the kill onto the Juggernaut, and there's 2 quick core deaths from Alliance, and the pressure being applied to the mid-tier 1.
4 heroes mid. That was a great rotation from RNG, and it's all set up because Setsu has that medallion early. So even though you have a Vanguard on Centaur, it doesn't matter. He's taking near pure damage because he doesn't have the plus armor necessary to stay alive. Does not have the phase boots. The chainmail was still in base.
Just wants to keep it going. Kind of easy to find out where Tiger is. Boxy, hoof stomp down, holding 2 heroes. A quick double edge, clean up as much as you possibly can in the lines as the Spirit comes out once more. As Insania also caught in the tree lines. Lanham functioning with the rest of RNG.
Yeah, they've jumped out to this huge lead. I'm not even sure like how this happened. It's a lot of it is just the supports and again the bottom lane. Like look at Koifa right now. He's falling behind Lanham, and he's not even confident enough to go play bottom at the moment, actually just jungling with his ET because he recognizes that with Grimstroke off map, him +1 just ends in his death once again. He'll move there now because they see so many heroes top, and typical Chinese meta play, they're setting up for this catapult that'll spawn in 15 seconds, but they might not even need it. They're just going to go straight for the tower.
They get an easier initiation, a quick hex out, they put the wall up, they just want the Juggernaut down, they're going to claim him. The perfect time, 5 seconds before the bounties will spawn up.
This is literally just Lanham. It's just Lanham walking at people.
A little cheeky from Boxy. He actually moved over to try and claim the bounty runes.
And have we seen a Stampede yet this game? I don't think we have.
No, we have not. To get in or out.
It's just strange, because Boxy's been level 6 since like 4 minutes in. I'd figure they would have used it at some point, even if it's squandered, you know? It just feels like he's forgotten about that skill. Love what Setsu's done here as well. Just the medallion soul ring rush, so he's able to continuously sustain and farm as efficiently as possible straight into a Midas. So RNG recognizing like, you know, maybe we won't win into the mega late game, but right now we're ahead. Let's turn this advantage into economy, and then we'll just look to control the map, which they will have an easy time doing when you consider that Alliance's damage output and catch potential is very limited at the moment until Insania has more points in Glimpse and the cores have more farm, because right now, you know, Zeus and Jug are suffering.
Yeah, Koifa doesn't hit hard at all. Like he's like even with the combination with an ET, maybe this is a nice way to do it. So you'll get him caught in the wall. And Shaman will die. Koifa wants to kill secure, lets the Thunder God's Wrath out, reveals RNG moving aggressively into the northern jungle.
They get the mid tower as well, which is quite nice. And Zeus is one of those heroes, especially with an ET. Like you don't need too much net worth, right? All of your damage comes from your spells. So in theory, so long as you're able to cast them, you're going to be just fine. Aether Lens and enough mana to spam for 30 seconds. That's effectively peak Zeus. And sure, you'd love the Veil and like an E-Blade Blink Ags, but really it's like Aether Ags, and that's your big spike. If you can get there without this game getting too far out of hand, I think Alliance will be in a fine spot. But right now, they got to deal with RNG playing super aggressive within their own woods.
They're trying to avoid the Spirit. Stomp's going to come out, only ends up catching out in 1. And that's fine for Monet. He'll tank it through. The pressure's being applied towards the mid tower. It's just the Broodmother, and there's little box he can do about this because he's worried. He doesn't have teammates that can easily get to him, and if they do, they get wrapped around behind.
The micro's so good as well. You can see Boxy just caught between a rock and a hard place. He wants to prevent the spiders from hitting tower, but Setsu just continuously annoying him, microing both hero and minions at once. Drums now Mickey. He recognizes he needs to get a fight item stat. It will be a blink dagger on Boxy, it appears.
Yep.
It's just because you can't find kills otherwise. They don't have setup for the stomp. Setsu will be able to finish this tower, perhaps. It's in deny range.
Yeah, the Spiders can just run back in and have another crack at it if they want to, but Tiger's got all the damage in the world, so 1 hit from him. And the mid-tier 1 tower will be denied. That leaves only 1 remaining outer tower, remaining tier 1 tower for Alliance. That's on bot lane. Oh, jump him, Afu. Looking for the target, Koi, but not caught inside of the Arena of Blood. And Afu actually walked back into the Static Storm to die.
Yeah, I'd really like to see them rotate the lanes, though. Okay, they did, actually. It's exactly what I would hope. Mickey goes bottom, and you put the Zeus top, because you want to alleviate this pressure from RNG and also control vision within the jungle. Mickey can lane bottom freely at the moment, because other than the Brood, there's no real way to pressure him during a spin TP. You know, it would be raw physical damage taking him down. There's no interrupt.
And we'll rely on the rest of his teammates to do the counter push. Boxy has to come in and be the tank. He's the only real player on Alliance with net worth sitting just shy of 6,000. Almost 7,000 on the Broodmother. She adds more pressure, and so does RNG. Smoke up on their two supports, but it's the problem of Flyby. Caught inside the wall, and no way to escape.
Yeah, just keep in mind, Alliance's draft is looking to get this game later. The ET Zeus combination is really peak strength when he's maxed out. Boxy, again, limited armor, taking a lot of damage.
Perfect chain stuns. May as well burn the Phantasm. If they can find this kill, they're going to need the extra damage for it. Just silence control. It's like the Centaur just never can walk himself away. They pull him back in with reality, but they still can't find the kill. They had almost 2,000 HP to break through. And Boxy can just tank it out.
Centaur Gaming, boys and girls. That here, it's 14 minutes in. He's got something crazy like 3,000 EHP at the moment when you factor in armor and damage block. They blow everything from 3 heroes, and it's not nearly, well, it is nearly enough, but
he had 10 armor and 1990 HP.
Decent. The problem is still for Alliance, you know, the Brood CK, the building damage is what's got to scare you, because you know if you make a mistake or two, your supports die, then the wave clear disappears. They can just march down a lane, drop Roster Wards, Phantasm, and the Brood army all of a sudden just melts your buildings into dust. And RNG also able to utilize Ancients far before Alliances. I think this is the 7th or 8th camp we've seen Setsu take, and that's primarily responsible for his net worth lead on Boxy. Like, there's just no replacement for this super rich camp, by far the most value gold per damage required to slay. Actually, well, creep waves are technically more value, but there's a limited number of those, of course.
Always going to watch all angles, don't you, Kyle? Lions are going to push in bottom lane, looking for the tier 1 tower. The pressure will come in return from RNG towards the tier 2 tower up in the north. And Boxy, he actually got the Crimson Guard ready to come out in the courier, as well as TP Scroll available. So if they want to move towards the north and defend this, they can do so with that plus damage, plus 244. Boxy's only being slowed up because of this fortification, but this is where Centaur's power really comes to fruition. But the trade-off is the Mass Serpent was down. Tiger will delay it with the ET Stomp. Here's your first EP, combining with a splitter. Boxy's going to arrive. Instant Hex from Lanham. You get to come in range of the ET splitter to make that work. And now you have your Arena of Blood. Flyby wants to be able to fight, but does he want to go into this? They've already killed off the ET. Boxy doesn't get bound to... Okay, now he gets bound to Insania, but it's a little too late. Maybe it's not. Stampede, Alliance retreat. No silence to control that Centaur. But the tier 2 tower will be guaranteed.
Very strange play from Alliance. I think Taiga, the initiation's cool, but when Taiga walks forwards to start auto-attacking, it gets very questionable. And you've got a nice timing spike here. Setsu with the Diffusal Blade, very powerful. And I do like what Boxy did, however. He's going for the Crimson pre-blink. I think it's necessary. Initiation would be nice, but right now, you don't want to be fighting RNG. They are far too strong, and your cores are just too far behind. Aetherland's picked up on Lanham. He's had an excellent game thus far.
It's going to get even better, but you're right with the Crimson Guard, because now where does the damage output come from RNG? Like, it was definitely there. Chaos Knight, like, his Phantasm and himself won't do as much work. Not while that Crimson Guard is up. So they kind of have to wait it out or forever just hold him in the Arena of Blood.
And it's one of those... oh, hang on.
Nice pickup. Flyby just pushing back this Centaur. They couldn't do it before, even with Crimson Guard triggered. Boxy cannot survive. They're getting stronger. And they're proving it.
Alliance just playing too split around the map. They're doing their typical play style where they're in 3 lanes at once. But RNG, specifically thanks to their supports, they have too much lockdown. Boxy's tanky, but there's no one behind him. So even if it takes 10-15 seconds, they're still going to be able to burn him down. And I love what RNG is doing. Both cores after the Midas get 1 value item, the Armlet and the Diffusal respectively, into straight BKB. They're going to get a Roche, and they're going to look to go try and end game with a couple of pickoffs. And to me, an underrated mechanic, not mechanic really, but just drafting, it goes back to these Ancients. Alliance has had a quad stack this entire game. No one has farmed these Ancients, whereas the Broodmother has cleared his own 10 times. That's like a 2,000-3,000 gold swing that Alliance has no method of gaining at the moment because they don't have a hero that can farm that camp.
Why is he going to try and defend this? Boxy's already arrived. They're looking for Monet and Sania waiting right behind him. They'll glimpse him back in again. And the wall, but no, Phantasm dodges it, and then he's still happy to go back in with the Reality Rift, pulling onto the Centaur. Kev with his life to ET Splitter. It does hit hard, and RNG start to back themselves out. It's too much Chain Lightning damage. They get through the CK with a Stampede forward, then over Lanham.
About time.
Mop up the Mass Serpent Wards, and Alliance find themselves winning a fight for once.
Yeah, you got to be careful there. That was a really, it's always an easy play for CK. Anyone worth his salt, and Monet certainly is going to be able to Phantasm dodge the Glimpse with ease. One of the easier spells to dodge in that regard. And finally, Alliance, they get involved. They have the Veil, they have the Aether Lens on Zeus. His damage output is insane. Does Taiga have points in Spirit yet? Or not Spirit, but the Aura, because
he's a 3-4-1.
Okay, because that's the big power spike for Alliance. When he gets maxed out Aura and all of a sudden all magic armor is removed, all base armor is removed, it changes the damage output of the Alliance heroes, and all of a sudden Zeus plus Spin is more than enough damage to kill these cores, but that's where the BKB becomes a factor.
He's itemizing to get there, so he's he's finishing up the Soul Ring now, so he's got the easy consumables, but he's got Hand of Midas and the Quick Buy for the next item. So understanding the levels.
Yeah, and the high ground
really
of Alliance,
important.
if you think about it, they will be able to stand so far back near almost their own tier 4s and defend. Like, they're not really pressed for time. They will be able to outscale. It's just that right now RNG is mobilizing for this huge push window at like 20 to 25 minutes. And I feel like they've got control of this game for another 10. Alliance playing for that 30+ mark where all of a sudden your Jug's on the 4th item, your Zeus has the Ags, and you've got the levels necessary to take these big team fights.
Flyby with a blink forward, was hoping to get some kind of control on Boxy. Nice Observe Wards has already been planted down. So Alliance as well as RNG have a lot of vision over the hillside.
Yeah, dude, these spirits are going to make Taiga so beastly. If he gets a couple of heroes and all these spiders, I'm curious to see how fast he's moving right now.
So he'll come in, he goes from 361 to 485. He's got plus 753 damage.
What?
Not kidding. It's 85 plus 753 damage. Remember, there was the buff up for the hero, like the hero gain damage?
It was an army of spiders, but this is
it was an army of
all
spiders.
according to plan. You get the
Roshan.
bounty runes top on RNG, you immediately move into Roche, and what do you know? A very timely DD rune just outside of the pit. This is a tough fight for Alliance to take here. They're thinking about it though, but Boxy, I don't know if he's tanky enough to make this play by himself.
The ET Spirit's gonna have a look. So it can slow him down. Setsu with the double damage. They need to stomp just to delay it up, but Setsu just walks himself out of the pit, so Roshan's the only one that gets stunned up.
Wards are fading though. You could think about this, Alliance.
He's almost there. Plague Wards have just a little bit longer, but they'll be long enough. Spirit comes back in again. Roshan killed by Radiant. They've already got the Aegis Immortal. On to the Brood Mother. And Flyby just separates the team fight. Boxy, no way he can get back in. The Arena of Blood, it takes so long to walk around the Coliseum. Taiga will finish his own TP away to safety, but they're keeping the chase going. Insania at the tier 2 tower. He wants to get invis, but they want Koifa. Drops down the lightning bolt. He'll need some extra help. Insania, what are you going to give? He has the ultimate. He'll give nothing. They'll just let Koifa die. And in fact, with a follow-up Hex, the RNG just keep going. They want to, but Taiga, a 3-man sleep.
They're doing a creep wave. It's still backed by their own dead tier 1. And man, I hate to see that, Toby. It's like the most frustrating way to take a Roche fight is that you initiate late. Not even initiate. Roche is dead, but you're now like, oh, wait, shit, we got to get out of here. But you lose 2 for nothing. They've already taken the big objective. You've had Mickey TP from where he was farming safely in the aggressive off lane back to just watch and then retreat into his own jungle again. It just... big miscue there from Alliance, and it put them in a whole 10k lead now in favor of RNG. And we were talking about the power spike, this double BKB. It's very tough for Alliance to do anything. The Insania Disruptor, ineffective at the moment. And they need more time.
They're really trying to find ways where they can counter push, as you said. Like, so Alliance can buy that time. The ET Spirit slows everything down. And if they do want to run in closer onto Taiga, like he brings that Spirit back every time, and he's always around plus 600 to plus 700 damage on the ET. He will hit hard if he can survive.
Yeah, that's going to be the big problem, because both Brood and CK also hit quite hard, and they don't need a Spirit to do it.
He actually switched off. He's not going the Mice, going the BKB. I think Taiga's turning, like realizing he has to turn into the fighter. Another Mass Serpent Ward committed, so the tier 2 tower will end up falling. Top tower is the trade-off from Mickey, working with the catapult wave. They're being very uncertain about things. Lanham's moving up. Dyer will still claim the top tower.
Oh, I don't know about this item quite, but I think you need an Ags ASAP. You got to be able to kill these supports in the back line.
Yeah, Blink, what's he looking for? Is just like a jump out positioning when RNG initiate?
He wants to kite, because right now the only initiation RNG have is still walk at you, although I do believe they'll have a blink on Mars. It's just what what sort of damage you're going to do. That's the problem.
Insania, he actually got the kinetic field up, so Shaman's forced to stand here with Mickey, who can find the quick kill. Rotations coming in from Mars. And Mickey, what are you going to do? He's actually going to farm the wave up. He's got spin TP available, but here comes Flyby. The spin not being used to TP away to safety because they want to try and fight him, and that's the reason why. Boxy jumps in. You can go for the quick Omni Slash. Flyby, the only thing that kept him alive. Actually, they glimpse him back. What's better? An Arena of Blood or a Kinetic Field? At this point, the Kinetic Field is doing the work. A nice skewer pushing Mickey further away, but Flyby will still end up going down. The creep wave gets the last hit. And Alliance making RNG feel like they have the upper hand.
Yeah, that was a great play. Like, that's the sort of move you've got to make in this position. You don't want to sit in your own base. You've got to play aggressively. They do it with 3 and bait RNG into an overconfident move. Mars finishes the pipe post blink, and you could see the Brood item choice. The Aghanim Scepter doubles the active web count, so he'll have insane mobility. Does mean his damage output will decrease ever so slightly in comparison to if he'd rushed an aura item like AC.
Yeah.
But it looks like RNG is trying to abuse map control and pace. You've noticed they haven't really, there've been no huge 5-on-5s, and the only one we really had was around that bottom tier 1, and Alliance won that. They want to abuse movement and pickoffs to get their advantage.
Boxy's on the run. Not the fight he wanted to have, but Mars did TP over towards the Shrine for this. So they are relying, like, maybe this is also a mindset we have to start thinking about for RNG. Like, okay, well, the Broodmother's building the Aghanim Scepter, so it's just like, I need to control every single lane, cut it out, but what is the end goal with this? Eventually, RNG have to go high ground. And they've got 57 seconds left on that Aegis the Immortal to do it.
Yep, and looks like it might be coming right about now, Toby. Almost level 20 on Setsu. Monet has that Blink BKB. Bounty Runes have spawned. Looks like it'll be a 2-for-2 trade, which has got to favor Alliance in this spot. Still behind, but it was 10k 5 minutes ago, and they've outlasted this Aegis without losing any structures that weren't certainly going to die anyway, and they've actually gained just a little bit of ground. I like that they're still playing in this top side of the map. They have to. You want to try and keep RNG split, but you notice there's still a Centaur and a Zeus inside the base because they recognize the push power if RNG just showed up on high ground with all their heroes dropping spells.
Yeah, they have to hold him out. Interesting pickup as looks like he got a little bit more frustrated dropping down Mass Sentry towards a gem picked up by the Grimstroke. 25 minutes in while the Hex connects onto middle with the very long shackles. Monet looking for his own target, but the blink away to safety is going to help. Boxy has no stampede. He used it previously to escape, but he's got a stomp available, and now finally they get through him. Setsu's the man to get the kill. The Aegis Immortal will time out. Not to mention the BKB burned on the Broodmother.
It's just too far outside of base, and it's so easy for RNG. You could see Lana with the long-range shackle. It's, what, like 5 seconds, even though it's only level 3? There's nothing you can do about it.
And he comes quick. He's BTing around the map.
It's mobility. That's what RNG's looking to do. They don't want 5-on-5s. They want to see, oh, Boxy out of position, like that 3-4 seconds away from his team. We'll just initiate on him, abuse our initiation, our reach, and our ability to just guerrilla-style Alliance into submission, forcing them to stay now behind their tier 2 bottom side as they continue to farm in 3 places at once.
Oh, they can't do this though. Like, they're going to lose their entire jungle worth of farm. The top wave's going to push in so heavily. It feels like he's the bait. Insania's winning the trees, and he walks right on top of Monet. Instantly, BKBs is only going to call by any kind of storm or wall, and just rips apart Insania. That is one very dead Raptor. And Mickey, TP now comes off cooldown so he can leave.
He's got to be careful. Lanham is looking for him.
He wants to spin the next wave.
Yeah, he does. But if he gets hexed, he's super dead.
Lanham finds him. Does he get the hex off? Spin, Mickey. Yeah, he just TPs, doesn't get the wave. And already the Chaos Knight's got his Phantasm Illusions arriving on bottom.
Yeah, RNG's playing a really clean game this far. Just avoiding fights, ensuring that they're always farming these ancient camp spawns while keeping Alliance locked on their own side of the map. I still think Alliance, if they can buy more time, if they can get later into this game, try and even up this net worth disparity, things will change. But they've got to try and equalize the macro part of this game right now, because RNG's advantage is growing by 500 to 1,000 every minute because Alliance is unable to play more than one lane at a time.
Yeah. That's when you look to see RNG push. If they look at towards the top river, they'll see a double damage rune. It's been sitting there for a while. In fact, if they don't get it in the next 10, it's kind of gone.
Oh,
but they may not need it. The wrap up towards top, Mickey. Triggers at the Mjolnir. Insania is going to be the one to be caught out. He tries to go invis quickly with the Glimmer Clay. Monet jumps in. Remember, they got the Gematru sight. They see absolutely everything. The rest of Alliance will TP out. That ward just out of range. Couldn't see Coit for TPing out.
Yep. Map control is the name of the game for RNG. I love how they've played this so far. Double blinks, the Broodhammer is spiders, and then the early pickup. If you look around the map, Alliance has absolutely zero vision, and it's incredibly difficult once you lose your vision to try and place it back up because you're walking through what's effectively an active minefield, and RNG could pick almost any moment to jump on you from some sort of high ground, some sort of vision on a high ground, of which they have 2 wards currently, one in the bottom area of the map and one up top in the lane, which I really like because you know that Alliance is looking to, like, where were they playing, right? In that top side shop area. So you want to ensure that you can continue to push this top lane since Brood has bottom and mid. And oh, nice kill there from Mickey, just hiding in the trees, gets the Omni off before the Hex can come out to Lana.
He'll take that, but Tiger's in trouble. Stampede comes in, and with the Hopes on forward, they actually catch Broodmother. Wow.
That was a ton of damage. Oh my god.
And the TP out to safety as well. Yeah, they hit hard.
That's the ET Zeus factor right there. When Brood is isolated, not near the pipe aura, he's taking pure damage from Zeus's spells. Not to mention the double edge of Centaur. There's actually a ton of magical damage, and Taiga with a great stomp, ensuring he keeps his spirit online as well. Will not survive if you get stunned pre-BKB with no supports around you. That'll be a Lotus finished up on box. That was such a huge kill because it slows down the tempo of RNG. I was just talking about, oh, how does Alliance get back on the map? How do they establish vision? Well, with 2 heroes dead on the enemy side, look at how aggressive they can suddenly play. They don't even need to necessarily stay here, but they can at least establish some sort of map control and get the lanes finally on the RNG side of the river.
It's just Alliance's mindset change. It kind of goes with Tiger's like quick buy change. He went from, it's like, okay, I need Hand of Midas, I need to get my levels. Now I went to BKB. Now he's looking at an Aghanim Scepter. So just going to put that Ogre Club into the Ags.
And this, you know, it's starting to question if RNG has played this game perhaps too passively. They could have been jumping.
Don't go down this line again. We had this line with the EG game, didn't we?
Well, it's like
this game looks really good. They're very much ahead in net worth, but
it is. But
don't be passive.
The first Aegis, they didn't even like make a move with it. They found some kills, but Alliance were able to keep the game even in terms of the net worth not changing too much. And you had this ability to potentially play on one side of the map with 3-4 heroes as Brood just dives into the bottom area, or bottom racks, mid racks, something like this. And I think Alliance will just give up this Roche. They may not even be aware it's active because both bounty runes are spawning.
Especially the Zeus being hunted up on top, blinks away quickly thanks to the Thunder God's Wrath. Gets information that Roshan's being done, but yeah, as you said, like Alliance, they're in no position to try and contest this at all. They have to wait. They can look for a trade-off, so the double damage for the Juggernaut, tier 2 town to bottom lane. But Initiation's getting better and better for Roll Never Give Up. That's Lanham, who just arrived with a fresh Blink Dagger, starts with a Hex. Look at the range! Holding him with the shackles, you throw him into the wall, no way to bounce away from this one. And that is one very dead Juggernaut, DD or not, with no buyback available for 72 seconds.
Chasing.
And they're looking for Boxy in the trees. He'll blink down and away. Nice and elusive. So RNG won't find him. Tiger barely gets his own TP out in time.
And this is go time for RNG. They've got the second Aegis. The Assault Cure has finished on Brood. He's near 6 slotted.
He's got the cheese in his backpack too.
Like this is when you are strongest as Broodmother, but your hero, much like an alchemist, you will fall off. You're supposed to win games around this mark. If Alliance can hold on for 5-10 more minutes, they'll be in a great spot, but it's looking dangerous. Mickey dead for 40 seconds. Wards are active. RNG have all their spells. Like at any moment, they could just go high ground right now and drop everything.
Brood's heading in. They've got double Blink Daggers coming on the crew at the moment. That's coming in for the Grimstroke, but Aghanim Scepter will be completed from Tiger. He'll buy out for this, as they have only the CK with buyback status available. Look at CK so quickly in. Tiger gets...
Oh, they got the stomp. Brood's going to be in trouble here.
Yeah, BKB up and running. He'll be able to survive. Yeah. Immunity up.
Zeus, Dota 2, folks. It doesn't matter if he's low in net worth. He's still doing tons of damage.
Oh, there's your Soul Bind and the double silence. Tiger goes back into the stomp using that immunity he has, but he can't really help out. The shackles will hold him there. And this is Alliance with 2 heroes, no buyback. One of them being the core. Monet will be glimpsed back in again. Boxy and Mickey won't try and fight, but the Arena of Blood will arrive. And Mickey and Boxy have to fight right on the edge of it. Skewered back in towards the tower. Mickey can only spin himself back away. And maybe with the Stampede, Boxy actually decides to turn. But the tier 3 tower's already fallen. The melee Rax is following quickly too. Now Serpent wants just to add insult to injury. This will be able to finish up the range Rax. And there's nothing Alliance can do about it. 32 minutes in, they've lost their mid.
It looks like Koifa got caught with the soul bind, could no longer blink away, was counting on his mobilities to survive, but instead just ends up getting dove hard by the double BKB pop of the 1 and 2 of RNG. And there's nothing you can do as a Zeus with this very mobile but squishy itemization. In fact, there are really no items you can buy. If you get jumped on by CK and Brood, you will die. He actually needs, I think, a BKB in this game if he wants to survive, but it's a tall task when you consider he's currently sitting at, what, like 300 gold?
It's kind of fun.
What's the ET Ags?
So ET Ags will give you 2 seconds magic immunity while you're channeling Stomp. So that's why it's looking like he has a BKB. It's no longer like the big hitter with the splitter.
Yeah, that was one that was changed, right? Because he had one before.
Yeah, he did.
Changed it to.
I think it's didn't it disarm when he got the Aghanim Scepter with the old ET?
Did. And I think it lasted 1 second longer as well, or the debuff did.
Yeah, but now it's like, oh, you can stomp, but it will be, 2 seconds immunity for an 11-second cooldown ability.
That's pretty cool, actually, because there's a ton of mini-stun and interrupt on RNG. Although, I don't think you can cast Stomp while you're silenced, right? You have to... You can't cast it unless...
They silenced him then, but I still saw him cast Stomp, so
no, but
it maybe is questionable.
Oh,
Stomp into the Omni Slash, looking for the damage to kill the Broodmother, able to do so. Setsu falls down to Boxy.
Alliance, they just need that one opening right now. That's another pretty
again.
large mistake from Setsu. They're going to keep chasing. This is the disruptor factor. You have a ton of catch, and they have this vision on the high ground. This might be +1. They want the CK.
Stampede, they're coming closer. The Glimmer Cape helping protect Arfu for the moment, and they got the vision. The CK, he'll have to BKB. That's his 7-second down.
It's the right move. No Phantasm for a little bit, and he's holding 5k gold. RNG's still in the lead, but it's...
He's been sitting like this ever since they took Roshan, because originally he had the Assault Cuirass queued up, ready to buy, and he switched back into the Skadi.
That's... You're not out of the woods there, the RNG. They have the advantage necessary to maintain the lead, but the Alliance draft is nice in the sense that they really just need that one decisive team fight, that one Roshan. If they can either deny the Aegis Refresher or take it themselves, like that totally turns this game in their favor. You know, Mars is a great hero, but you start falling off in terms of overall touch output when comparing him to what ended up being the offlaner for Alliance in the Zeus. Shiva's soon on Boxy as well, just trying to reduce damage output. Nice ulti, they'll find the smoke. And look at the vision Alliance suddenly have. Even though they lost the Rax, it feels like their map controls actually increased substantially.
They've been banking the wards just forever. Flyby, oh no, that's a huge miss on the spear. Into a Glimmer Cape, up back underneath the Shrine. They'll need to trigger the Shrine now to give him the extra life. Won't be enough, however. A Flyby thinks about continuously fighting, especially when Mona jumps forward. A 4-second stun over on Tiger. Even if he stomps right now, you'll get the immunity, pull him back in again. The stomp will connect, but Mona won't care. The BKB protects him. Low Soul can help reflect, but down goes the ET. The pressure is still being applied up on top lane. The Juggernaut took the tier 2 tower.
They got the lanes going, so they may need a buyback on the Elder Titan, but because it's just the supports that they lose, you notice the gold swing actually favors Alliance after that engagement, thanks to the tower and the amount of creeps that Mickey was able to slay. Because RNG is so far ahead, if you look at the net worths, you're not getting any of that differential bonus gold, so really, supports dying doesn't matter if you're Alliance, so long as you preserve your structures, which so far they're able to do. Scotty complete on the CK, looks like he's going Moonshard next item, but keep in mind, like, the RNG cores are starting to max out. And obviously, Mars can buy more items, but the Brood and the CK will soon be out of slots.
Oh, Mickey, do not blink up that hill. With the Shrines being attacked, he understands that's not the place to be anyway. Well, he's been the elusive one on the northern side. With both Manta as well as Blink Dagger, he's able to push out the lanes. Arfu, quick blink away from Mickey. Arfu was right behind him, starts his own spin TP out, and this is why Mickey is the one doing it. Elusive enough when you've got the Manta as well as Blink, but having nothing that's going to actually pierce you through the immunity, apart from heavy physical damage, that allows the TP out.
Yeah, the next big fight is going to be the fight for the third Roshan. That is game-breaking. I don't think... There's no real, like, huge items that'll change things too much. I feel like a Butterfly on Mickey would be sick, just because there's no MKBs just yet on the RNG cores. And while they could buy one on the Brood, it's very tough for CK to get one at this point. He's just over-slotted. Aegis can spawn between like 1.5, 4.5 minutes from now, so should expect a little bit of passivity.
Brood doesn't actually have anything in her quick buy at the moment. Just
Keep in mind,
Just 4.2k gold.
this game has huge TI implications. It is a BO3 series. If Alliance win this, they are almost guaranteed to go to TI. I do believe, although Gambit could overtake them if they were to win their next 2 series.
Yep.
And RNG, if they can win this and then win their next series as well, they are guaranteed that TI invite.
Yeah, but they have to win both those series because they're so far behind. Initiation onto the mid, Lotus will try and protect Boxy, but BKB Setsu just waits it out, has all the damage. Flyby actually burning his own BKB and the Arena of Blood to ensure this kill.
Yeah, that's their dangerous target. You want to be able to kill whoever you can, of course, but if you initiate on Centaur and Alliance or in the vicinity, you can potentially throw a fight because you're burning all these spells and putting yourselves in a choke point position.
But they're still losing out on the push power. Like, Disruptor's holding the top lane with the ET.
Oh, but look
You've
at
got
this.
Zeus
Look at
pushing
this,
the
bottom.
And it's going to go the way Jug.
This is sick. This could be an opening for Alliance. Perhaps he just uses it to push down bottom lane. It looks like that'll be the case.
They're scanning on Roshan now. Roshan may respawn in 2 seconds' time. We'll get the quick counter on you. And I can tell you right now, it's 138, so it's a longer spawn time for RNG.
I love how Lanham is there, just in case it's the instant spawn, and then he moves away. That's really cool. He's obviously got the timer down. Something that you would think every team would do regularly, but you'd be surprised how many times that can get lost in translation, especially this late into a critical must-win game.
It is so funny watching Koifa play this high movement speed Zeus, going BTs now with the Yashikaya. No Aghanim Scepter on the Zeus, which is what you thought you were going to get.
In retrospect, I think that that's the right call because it hits units, right? I'm not sure if it prioritizes heroes or not, but if it doesn't, then it would most likely end up just hitting spiders. Oh, Lana, he's got no defensive item. Really well done once again by Mickey, but that's all set up because of the wards they were able to place earlier.
Looks for the spin, looks for the stun, but Mickey's got the spin, and TP away to safety. That's the second time that Mickey's just gone for that solo Omni-slash kill, and he's getting more and more items. Man, he's playing this better than most people would play the anti-mage in the back lines, but now they get the animation in towards the mid. The damage on the Broodmother. You'll get the Arena of Blood up, and then the skewer pushing the Centaur back out. Flyby, that BKB won't last much longer. He's been burning it so much already. He'll get up the ramp and away, but Alliance, 2 heroes from RNG are in the grave, and they have no buybacks available because you bought the Nullifier on the Broodmother. That's why there's no buyback. They can go for Roshan. He's up in 6 seconds. If Alliance check it in 5, they're going to be good, and they left the healing ward there.
You're at a point now as Alliance, like, yeah, sure, you'd love to be able to get some base damage, but you get 4 bounties and the Roche spawn. That's even better. A refresher shard, like, this is the dream. This is the absolute dream, and you can see that as this game has gotten late, like, sure, Brood is farmed. He's 6-slotted, but a stun, a stomp, and 2 rounds of Zeus spells, he explodes.
Radiant is scanning. They understand what's currently happening. But they're moving towards the bottom lane instead. They're not going to contest Roshan without the Broodmother. And maybe this is the right choice for them at the end of the day.
It's definitely the right choice. You cannot take this fight with that Setsu. Top net worth on your team.
And they were liking the big ultimates as well. Well.
Yeah, sure, the net worth at disadvantage hasn't changed, but wasn't it about 10k at 20 minutes? It's proportionally way better for Alliance now that it's still near the same, but it's so much later that the actual percentage difference is negligible. You're so powerful now as Alliance. Mickey is approaching #1 net worth, and your draft does outscale. That's what we've been saying all game. It just can you hold on? And RNG, they really just not made plays. It's tough with their draft. They can't take these team fights. They're trying to abuse this map mobility, but at a point, because of this vision, because you make that mistake, Brood diving base getting picked off.
Yeah.
Alliance establishing vision around the map. Like, that is the key to this game. The wards are an objective in and of themselves. Once those go down, it opened up the game for Mickey. Could find solo kills, can push lanes more aggressively, and still be able to spin TP out successfully because there's no Abyssal Blade. There's no method of canceling that still on the whole draft of RNG.
And we're seeing them try now increase the survivability. Level 25 talent arrives at 600 plus health now for the Juggernaut. But you're getting an Aghanim Scepter. Zeus did end up going back into it. So they'll have that AoE level of control to go with the ET. Smoke up. The Spirit walks right over the top of him, and they'll want to follow that one back. But the Hex in middle lane, that long-range initiation. But Boxy, the double stun, it won't work. Only one of them got the BKB up in time, but Mickey to the back lines again. Look at his control up, land him, and take away that. But he goes invis. The Glimmer Cave offers the protection. Omni Slash, everyone's too grouped up together. Sensu is going down. He'll get hit by the landing ball while Monet took the rest of the Omni Slash from Mickey. Afu is nearby. Can they actually see him? Sentry well placed. They see which way he goes, and they will find this kill. Even with the bash, Mickey gets himself a double kill. A very quick buyback in from Monet. He needs to defend the top lane, which had momentum, but Alliance...
I think they're done for, Toby. You can see the damage output. It is shifted just completely in favor of Alliance, and they don't need to fear anything any longer. There's a buyback on the CK, sure, but for what? Like, you don't have Phantasm. What are you going to actually do here? Mickey is enormous, and even without Omni Slash, he's going to have MKB coming on the Courier in a moment, and just...
That 15,000 golden experience advantage that RNG is walking around with, it's now just totally shifted. And that's all happened within the span of the last 5 to 10 minutes. That's that window that Alliance has just been waiting for.
Dude, and Taiga, this is ET, guys. This hero is the ultimate damage amplification in Dota at the moment. That does seem to be the name of the game. Another Lotus Orb picked up, just neutralizing Lanham's effectiveness in this game. He's no longer going to be able to find that easy lockdown on these cores. You're going to actually have to 5-on-5 and go toe-to-toe with the Alliance damage output, and you just don't have that right now.
This actually feels really sad for Royal Never Give Up. Like, they looked like they're off to a fantastic start. The lanes were fantastic. The draft really worked for them when that 5th pick Broodmother, but the draft is great, but if it tails off like this, there needs to be a win condition, like a plan for win timings.
It's more, I think, that they're just not using the map control they have to press their advantage. They need to take, maybe not super risks, but at least a couple calculated ones. You watch OG play in the series before this. When they get this lead, it feels like you give OG a lead. They'll take it and win the game. Almost every time, just because they continue to push the envelope. Yeah, sure, you might die here and there as Thompson or a support, but it's the 3 or 4 heroes, you're on the enemy side of the map, and you have other teammates making things happen or in the other lanes, whereas RNG, they...
Mickey, don't walk up there. He's going to be in real trouble. Has the Aegis Immortal for a minute and a half. Box, he's waiting for the right time to initiate. There's 2 heroes who did not burn their BKB. Sensu and Monet waiting for the right time, and they hit the back lines. Understaying ET, Tiger was there, waiting to win inside the Arena of Blood. Mickey, the spin's actually negating most of this Soulbind timing effect, and maybe they got another one. Yeah, hold him with the double shackles. They hold him there for the moment underneath the Nimbus. They don't care. Alliance, they are dying in front of Roshan for no primary objective apart from giving RNG a second chance to push high ground. And Lanham, my God, this guy... He got the double shackle, the long-range initiation, and RNG hitting the backline. They knew where Alliance was sitting in the river. Their feet were wet.
But that only works because Mickey's walking up. God, I feel like I'm watching...
Yeah, an Alliance game. You feel like you're watching an Alliance game, Kyle.
What's the longest-running sitcom? Because Alliance and... moves like that have got to have more episodes. They're still in a fine position.
I think would have to be #1 up there. I think.
Now there's a
like if it's a soap, there's like Days of Our Lives.
It does feel like you do have the emotional up and downs of a soap opera. I think that would be more accurate.
They'll never find out. Just keep a secret. Secrets are always kept.
Mickey buys back the left high up in a moment as well. You can see RNG still fearful, especially with no Phantasm. It's like that was a gift. Alliance, you know what? This game was a lot easier when we were 10,000 gold behind. So let's get back to that. You're gonna have RNG scoop up more bounty runes and tomes coming out now. You got buyback CD on Jug and CK and Grimstroke. Koifa level 25 along with the Ag, so his damage output is insane. But
he's actually building a refresher orb.
Yeah. All Alliance need to do is take a fight, force the BKBs on RNG, Koifa stays alive. He'll be able to kill almost everybody so long as Boxy and specifically Mickey gets their spells off. And
that TP took forever to go back to Fountain. But he's there. He is there safely.
You have an Ag soon on Insania, though. That's enormous, because you're going to be able to initiate then with Boxy and just drop the ult. There's no save mechanics that can come out. You cannot BKB. You cannot use your abilities. You cannot pass go.
Like you saw Boxy waiting. 2 heroes standing together. They hadn't used their BKBs, but still they didn't want to initiate. I don't know if that was because Alliance weren't sure they wanted the initiation, but it also could have been because he's like, you know what, if I blink in, they're already going to BKB on me.
That's true, but you could argue that would be better off for them. They
Yeah.
Boxy can die. Like, in fact, I feel like if Boxy dies in a fight, Alliance have won it, so long as they're actually 5 heroes. Because RNG simply don't have enough time in these fights to win them unless they get the supports and chase away the Zeus and or Mickey, or just take one of them down. But long fights favor Alliance. RNG, you've got to win in the duration of your BKBs, your Brood, and your CK ultimates. If you give Zeus enough time to get 2 or 3 rounds of spells off, like you're done for.
Prepare yourself for a lot of rebuking. Mars is building into an Aghanim Scepter.
Of course he is.
So 1.4 second cooldown on the Aghanims for rebuke. Plus he gets an extra damage against heroes. They're looking for their target, Boxy. Oh, smoke's gonna break. They know someone's hovering around, but this is definitely Alliance using him as bait. And it's a very, very tanky Centaur that they'd have to fight through. 42 armor, 3k and a bit worth of life.
Yeah, he is not the target for RNG, and they recognize this. Next Aegis does feel like it might be the big objective. Alliance moving out on the map towards their own jungle bottom.
There's the damage output you want. There's a double damage rune sitting in the top river. But, so Roshan may respawn in 30 seconds. It'll be our new timer to watch.
And then you're going to have Setsu maxed out quite soon. He'll sell the Midas for the Bloodthorn, and then his damage output is truly peaked. Could always buy a Moonshard, of course, but this is about as good as it gets for a Brood in terms of late game itemization. I really like the Ags as well. I feel like this was a necessary quality of life change to make him viable into this phase of the game. Because old Brood, you wouldn't have the webs to actually play Dota 2. You'd pick like one little area of the map, whereas now Setsu has that freedom to be effectively everywhere, just thanks to this this new ad from our great frog leader.
Giving some level of presence. So Roshan will respawn as a quick one, 30 seconds, before he'll be up. And RNG, because they've established a little bit more of a pushback in mid. That's the advantage of having that earlier racks go down. They've always got Alliance having to show themselves.
Yep.
So we'll see a little bit more, but the Aghanim Scepter for the Disruptor, so he doesn't care about buyback. He's short of it by about 650 gold.
This is where I'd love to see Alliance just simplify things. Just initiate on someone with the whole team nearby, kill that guy, and then look to just team fight. Because if they look to just mano-y-mano, brute force their way through RNG, I believe it will succeed, and I hope that that's their play right now.
Well, they're pulling the Chinese strat. Smoke up with 1 in front, 4 behind. A quick pause. So RNG can feel where everything is, but you don't have any vision from Alliance right now. Like, dire side vision is, well, pretty much non-existent apart from bottom lane.
They have Spirit. They'll have Zeus ult up in a sec. They have Ags. They have tools to provide vision. RNG, you really just have the Brood Spiders, and I haven't seen him scout with them too much this game. Roshan is alive. And again, it's all about the initiation. RNG need to find a pick off immediately at the start of this fight. Alliance, you just need to get your spells off. Your damage output is far superior.
We'll see where they can jump in. The ET Spirit's doing the scouting for them. Line him down the river. Monet's up high. He'll want to blink himself straight in the middle of the fight with the BKBs up. A nice 4-second stun is out on Disruptor. And there goes that Aghanim Scepter they really needed to give the control on the fights and the shackles. Pulling back the Centaur with the spear into the trees. The perfect chain stuns from RNG. They'll lose the Grimstroke. But my God, are they going to rip up a hell of a lot of damage. Plus 80 on the God's Rebuke with the Aghanim's upgrade that you're going to get. Mars is going to hit hard.
Buyback on Boxer. They want to fight this because Mickey picked up a DD. He's going to run straight towards the pit. They won't have Disruptor, though, along no Afu. So 4 on 4. They got to get to this pit quick.
The Nimbus gives the information. Here comes your Spirit. Sees Monet looking for the stomp. It's a little bit too early.
Insanity's got to be just a little more cautious. That is...
Do they force that? They got to force right. Like, Mickey's got to go in to do this.
Nah, I think you stall here. You don't need this.
Well, there's no Phantasm, there's no Mass Serpent Wards, and there's no Grimstroke at the moment. Boxy just has to babysit him with the ET Spirit. Setsu can come a little bit closer again. A little bit premature on the stomp, but that's why they jump in. 2 seconds on with their Arena of Blood. Flyby, he does so much damage. Mickey wants to run himself away from this one with the spinny up out of the wall, but not in enough time. Juggernaut's dead for 2 minutes, and what have they really got, though? They're going to courier to come and try and fight for them. That's what they've got. Maybe they got some extra life with Boxy, tanking him through it, but Setsu still up. They buy a little bit more space. and they can't get the kill. Koifa's trying his hard to get the kill, but Lana moves under the cover of Glimmer Cape, working with Monet is at 4 seconds done, 2 different ways. Maybe with the ET stop, more space can be created, allowing Alliance to reset themselves back, getting in Flyby. He's pulled back down by the Glimpse. They get the kill over onto the Mars, but Monet's doing the work with the buybacks coming thick and fast from RNG, as well as Alliance. The BT's the front lines, they've always got to be there to get the kills. Maybe with the hoofstomp from Boxy, they keep the control up. Can they get this kill? Monet's so low, he's invis, he's running up the hill, but Tiger being chased down by the Insania. He gets the wall as well as the storm out. The 2 calls from RNG, they could not keep the chase going. Maybe with the dust, Tiger goes into another stop, but he'll die first. They switch targets just at the right time. Sensu has himself a double kill, and they want to finish up Boxy. Diffuser Blade will slow him up in the mass urban ones. Well, they can't hold him in, but they just rebuke, and then find the kill. A triple kill for Sensu. They're about to make it an ultra kill, as Insania will fall as well. The buybacks from Alliance are there, but all they can do is just delay RNG's push. They can't stop it.
You're taking that fight without Mickey, Tobes. I know you want to buy back, you want to get these fights, but it's RNG just playing so well. Both Lanham and Monet on the CK are just hunting. They're waiting for the Zeus to show himself, and immediately you see him get stunned out. Then all of a sudden he's got to play and flee for his life effectively, and they just chase him down. You're only a threat if you're able to continuously cast spells, and Koifa's not able to do so. Again, it's just Alliance. They're only losing these fights because they're not getting their spells off. It's like 3 fights in a row. I don't see an Omni Slash. It's not okay.
But you're watching RNG not trying to force any buybacks. Like, there's death timers which last forever. They don't have
there
a
are
hell
no
of a lot,
buybacks.
but yeah, it's like they use 4 of their own.
I can't believe they're not going for the game here.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Like they took a bottom lane of Rax now. They'll come back and finish up Roshan.
The thing is, I don't think this helps RNG enough. They want to be able to get Megas here and close the game, but realistically, the Aegis, because everyone's so slotted at the moment.
ET Spirit's coming in. Roshan's not dead just yet. If he stomps right now, he may be able to. No, they're going to double PKP. Grab everything you've got.
Thing is, if you look, you won't have the Bloodthorn now. It's not a huge deal, Setsu. He just drops the Midas, obviously, for the Aegis. But, if Alliance can just get their spells off, I think that they're still in a position to win this game. It's just that RNG has consistently outplayed them in these late game fights. Insania, I think, has yet to... He got an Ag's ult off after his respawn in that previous fight, but he just hasn't been able to find an opening in the engagements like Lanham has, who continuously seems to be responsible for every single kill that his squad finds on one of these Alliance cores.
All right. So Brutus actually, he consumed the Aghanim Scepter and then sold his Aghanim Scepter. So
Okay.
He didn't actually give it to anyone.
I like that a lot, actually, because he needs
do?
the slots. Yeah.
But you wouldn't just give an Aghanim Scepter up, because it was the Aghanim Scepter upgrade from Roshan.
You need the slots. That's the problem with the Brood Hero, is that if you have this Ags, I love it. You need it to give you the necessary mobility to actually be a Dota hero at this phase of the game, but he needs to have a Bloodthorn in slot right now with the Aegis if he wants to deal damage and fight. This kind of gives that Aegis far more meaning, because he's actually going to have the damage output to ensure that Alliance cannot ignore his hero. He's very squishy though, 2100 HP, 1 round of spells from Koifa, and he'll be at 300, 400 health.
He's going to be my #1 to watch. But remember, he's also got buyback available. Both him as well as Juggernaut Mickey has buyback coming into this fight.
He's got to be really careful, too, because if he dies once, Insania, if nearby, can just drop his ulti on the Aegis respawn. He'll die again, no question, because he'll be locked inside with no ability to BKB or ultimate. It's just, Alliance, they just got to get their spells off. They got to find the initiation, or at the very least ensure one of their cores does not die without casting a spell. Look at this from Monet.
He just wants to. The 55-minute bounty rune's picked up, but the bottom lane as well as the mid are pushing in. Alliance have to retreat at this point.
I love his itemization, too. He recognizes how important it is to get these catches, so he goes for the Shadow Blade after Blink. That's why he's able to find the backline. It's helped him kill Taiga once, Insania twice, and Koifa after his buyback in that last engagement. And they just continue to hunt.
Oh, here comes Alliance. They ain't backing up. There's one hero who's at base doing the defense work, but Boxy, the Lotus Orb, trying to protect him for the moment.
I like what they're doing.
It's Koifa who's the one who's at home. They don't have the Zeus with him on the front lines.
They don't need him, though. He's always got the teleport active. Just camp this high ground like they're doing and look for the initiation. Mickey, though, please be cautious.
He's walking up the hill. Hop stop already comes out. Maybe they can get the kill over on Flyby, but then Soulbind, Mickey's going to try and spin it off. The ET splitter holding him in position, and Mars is dying quickly. He doesn't have buyback, dead for 2 minutes. Alliance have the advantage, the glimpse. That's not the way they thought Lanham was going to go. But the Mass Serpent Wards would drop. be mopped up, but the waves, they need to get control of these lanes again, Alliance.
Yep. And you can see exactly how these fights are going. RNG, if they don't get that catch, if they don't ensure they can prevent some core of Alliance from getting spells off, they don't have that ability to just go toe-to-toe. They can't initiate. Like, Monet can't just walk forwards and be like, oh, I'm gonna go for the Centaur. I'll go for Mickey now, because you just don't have the damage.
I love how Eliza are like, okay, well, you've got Monet, but I don't want him.
Yeah.
But maybe they do next time. The Blink Decker gets picked over on Insania, so he's got that ability just to instant jump and get that disabled through items. Like, it won't care about the items.
Yep, and they should know if they were keeping track. There's been a ton of buybacks. Remember, 56 minutes into the game, both of these teams are playing for a TI direct invite.
Yep.
Immense pressure in this moment. It's easy to forget things like who bought back in that last fight. Was it 5 minutes? Was it 6? So they should know it's a 4-on-5.
So they're trying, well, they don't try and force it. They try and get at least a counteract at this point. Monet's waiting on the bottom lane for someone to come and defend it. You've got Broodmother pushing top lane with Grimstroke.
He's
so
gonna
no one's here to try and stop Alliance from doing the push, which you can understand. Like, it's Shaman. That's the only one, but the Lotus Orb will protect Mickey. So he doesn't care. They'll take the tower. Here comes the mass TP's back already from Alliance, out of range of Royal Never Give Up. But with the spin, blink, and TP back, they look for Setsu. Stampede forward. They need to close the distance on him, however, with the lightning bolt. Are they in range? And saying he's trying to get in range for that glimpse. The Nimbus will come down. Setsu triggers his BKB and begins his walk.
Yeah, this is where the Alliance draft gets scary. They can blow all these big cooldowns, get full vision of the enemy side, and then have the glimpse possibilities.
Even with the Blink Dagger on Disruptor, it just allows that very long glimpse reach.
Yes. And look at the 10k gold on Setsu. This is the one concern with the hero, of course. A whole advantage on RNG and the net worth right now is all on Setsu's pocket, in Setsu's pocket or in his backpack. He will be able to swap in the Scotty in just 15 seconds, but still, it's the squishy factor. That's the concern if you're this Brood. That's why I think the Scotty does make sense. He'll give himself a bit more effective HP. The problem is,
as long as he can avoid the ET aura, like then it feels like he's going to be okay. But if he can't, it won't matter. So he switches it in. As the Aegis is timed out.
Alliance, I like that they didn't look to push for Rex, because that does not matter at this point. They're going to go for Throne if they're able to find an opening in this game.
I actually like this more because they take the tier 3 tower. Depending on where the pressure comes in, if they can get rid of that shrine, then maybe Roshan becomes a little bit more of an even fight. And it's not RNG just buying back, because all their buybacks are coming off cooldown within the next minute. Shaman's going to be the latest one. But that's when RNG like, well, we can just throw our bodies at it, then we'll use our money and just instantly come back into this game. And Alliance don't really have that answer just yet. Centaur and Juggernaut have theirs off cooldown at the moment. Disruptor will have to wait a little bit longer. Blink forward, looking for a glimpse. Okay, looking for a D-ward.
7k, 7.5 saved up on Mickey. I'll be curious to see what he goes to buy here. Boxing in trouble.
He was sitting there trying to get rid of the Observer Ward. Insania's in the nearby. Flyby. That's a really nice spear, but the ET Split tries to create a little bit more space, but they're going to get the kill on Disruptor. He's down, but so is Shaman. The two big disables from either side. Supports are gone. Now the jump comes forward. Maybe Tiger. He'll get that stop off in time. No, he won't. He actually goes down. It gets cancelled off. You at least return the Soulbind up, and now Setsu goes once again over onto Epoxy. Kuiper looking to try and fight. He has to help out here, but they realize there's no way they can help. Centaur can buy back into this game the same way CK as well as Shaman did.
But there's no buyback on the Disruptor. He needs the gold. In fact, he has the GPM talent, so by the time the CD's up, he should be able to come back into this fight. But 20 seconds before Insania will be active, and Taiga still dead as well for one more.
40 gold is what he needs. 30 gold. 20 gold. It's counting down. But the Mass Serpent Wars needs some cleaning.
No glyph.
Boxy will come in to try and take care of it. So Disruptor, his buyback is now back up again. He has the surplus available, even if we haven't got the gold bar up just yet. Now the stuns, Monet jumps forward. 6-second stun. Centaur's just been destroyed.
Monet already used buyback.
Finally arrive. He has to blink himself away to safety, but they're in so much hurt. But it's the damage output from Alliance that finally comes to fruition.
There's no Monet.
CK is gone.
Okay, there's no CK and there's no Centaur. So 4-on-4 for the next 120 seconds. And you can see, like, if Alliance can just hit people in the face, they kill them, all right? That's the ET factor. He's in melee range. That CK becomes butter as soon as the AC on Setsu disappears, because he, of course, met his demise. And